We're ready to party, we're ready. I hope you bring lots of spaghetti. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and Cosmere Chronicles, the podcast where we follow two first-time readers, Jasnah and Sheta. We chronicle their journey through Brand Sanderson's Cosmere series. On today's episode, we'll be chronicling the Stormlight Archive, The Way of Kings, chapters 26 through 28. So now it's time to throw it over to the host of Cosmere Chronicles. This is Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yep, everyone, once again, we're back here for Cosmere Chronicles. As normal, I am Joe, and once again, I'm joined by Sheta and Justin. Hey.
Yo.
How?
Yep, we're stuck with them again. But don't worry, we can fix it. Well, we did bring in a guest once again. This time, from the Sanderlanche Podcast, we have Data.
Greetings.
Woo.
Salutations.
I thought about the salutations. I was like, nah. I don't feel that
Should've
confident
done it. Well, good. You didn't deserve it yet. You haven't earned it yet.
Yeah, you got to earn it. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Data, just in case there's people who don't know, please explain a little bit about your podcast if you want to.
The Sanderlanche Podcast is a Brandon Sanderson read-along podcast, very similar to what you're already listening to. So if you like this one, I'm sure you'll love the Sanderlanche. Turn this one off and go find that on whatever platform you're listening to this on.
Whoa.
No,
He's fine. We already got the download. We already got the download. Yep, it's good. I've listened to every episode. I've enjoyed it.
Wow. Et tu, Joe?
Thanks for having me on, Joe. And I've listened
You're
to y'all's
welcome.
episodes too. You know, not every single one. I think I'm caught up on your Way of Kings episodes though.
Oh, so you've heard Sheta's crazy shipping things.
Well, I was just shocked that she called so early on that one of the High Princes was a dinosaur. Like that was
What? Wait,
that was the best called shot I've ever seen.
No, we're still one chapter from that reveal.
Oh, dang it. I'm sorry, y'all.
spoiler.
All right. So, well, I just want to get a couple quick questions to just Data, and then we'll do the overall random ass questions. So, Data first, from the Mistborn trilogy, who was your favorite character in those three books?
It's got to be Vin. I love Vin. She's just like this precious little killing machine, like a extremely cute little Wolverine. It's amazing.
I like the Wolverine comparison. I never thought of that.
It's funny because I did think of X-21 as her.
Oh yeah,
23.
see, there you go.
X-23.
Hey, I was like, one sounds wrong.
Yeah.
Well, X-21 is, the earlier prototype, not as cute, so we don't talk about it.
All right. And then Data, from what we've read so far in Way of Kings, just any character from there, who would be your favorite character?
Let me think. It's got to be Numuhuku Makiaki Ayalunamore. He is just like, so
Whoa.
much
Was
fun.
that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That was solid.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Thank
Well,
you.
this
Thank
is
you.
why we all listen to your podcast instead of ours.
Well, it's,
I didn't
it's
even-
just you got to know how to do those things. I'm widely considered to be one of the world's leading experts on Brandon Sanderson books. I printed myself out a nice certificate that says so. So I mean, it has to be true.
Wow.
Well, if you're the expert, I can't argue with you certifying yourself that way. It says
Yeah.
so
See,
on the
like who else
certificate.
would be better suited?
Who
Exactly.
certifies
Well,
the certified?
Yeah, in your podcast, didn't you say you almost won that trivia contest at Dragonsteel Nexus?
Oh yes, so close. They had such a cool like spear prize for first place overall, and
Wait, you won a spear?
no, the first place person won a full-sized spear that like lights up and stuff. It was so cool.
Wow, that's
And
badass.
there were 8 rounds of trivia. At the end of round 7, I was in the lead in this room of 750 people. And they're like, oh, if Data can keep it up, he's going to take this prize home. And then I fell to 3rd place and did not get the first
Oof.
place.
Dang.
Last
Gee,
round.
way to bring that up again, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. And now our random ass questions that we'll ask everybody. First, I don't think we've asked this one on the podcast before, but if we have, then we'll just be reiterating it. But for everybody, which is your favorite Final Fantasy game?
I'm going to give a very controversial answer that's going to be very shocking and say 7.
I was ready for you to be like,
saw that coming.
This is so controversial. I'm going to say 10 too. And
oh God, no!
Better.
No, I hate that game so much.
See, not only is 7, it's not just because 7's the one I was introduced to the franchise on. I like fantasy and all, but I love the kind of industrial dystopian aspect of that game with the fantasy elements mixed in. If there's a genre that I would call my favorite genre, it'd be whatever the hell that is.
I'm gonna go 7 as well, just for the characters.
I mean, there's no way to beat 7. Like, you just can't. It just can't.
Oh
be
yeah,
done.
there is.
I know Joe brought this
is
up
the best
just
one.
to give his answer.
I've been
is
playing
the best
6
gameplay.
Yeah, and you sir are insane.
Oh, I enjoy 7, but 6 and 9 are probably my favorites.
Okay, what about the gameplay in 6? You got to elaborate on that, because I'm sitting here like trying to farm all of the stupid moves for annoying little caveman kid or whatever he's called. What are you loving about it?
I never. Well, I just never use Gao. I
Okay.
never like Berserk sort of fighting styles.
6 is the best one, but I don't like an entire character from the game.
So like,
Yeah, if you don't
so
use that
at the-
character, it's great.
So like at the end of the game, you get to make like 3 parties. Now, if you have every character unlocked, there's 2 characters that have to be left out. And I chose to put in the character where all they do is copy the last move used by a different character over using that kid. But I don't know. When I played it, I enjoyed the story. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun where they try to make it where multiple characters have their own like main storyline sort of plot going. So while most people will say like Terra's the main character, other ones also feel like they could be the main character of the story. I do enjoy the gameplay where, yep, you give them a summon, you unlock certain stuff and everything, and I enjoy that a little bit more than Materia in 7. And I feel like I enjoy the final boss and stuff. I think Sephiroth is cool, but he's not my favorite boss.
My second favorite pick, just because, 7's the answer, would be 9, just because I really like the characters and overall story in that one. But 7's gonna fucking dominate easily.
9 has a good overall story. I can't I can't deny that. I don't know the characters. I actually replayed 9 for the first time in like a decade last year, and Steiner still drives me absolutely insane.
Steiner's not necessarily the character I was most enamored with when I first played that. so
does the stupid funny card game. The card game bug. It's not as bad.
I didn't really like the card game that much. Oh, the 8 one. I didn't like the 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah, God.
I mean, neither of those are as bad as like Blitzball in 10. But
God, you're bringing up things I haven't thought about for years.
But see, the characters are why 10 can't be my favorite, because I hate Titus so very much, and Yuna could have done better any day of the week with any person that she found on the streets. So,
but Lulu's in that game.
Yeah, I like Lulu. I like Lulu's design.
I was about to say, I believe that you like Lulu's design, yes. But, Yuna as a character, I just love.
I enjoy parts of 10, and I dislike parts of 10. Tidus, at some points I thought he was fine, some points he was just obnoxious. But
have you ever watched the really old Spoony reviews of those games?
Yes, I saw those. And
his Meg Ryan comments are so perfect for Titus, yeah.
But it's one thing I did like with 9 is that they were doing they're trying to do a shift with the main character, because 7 and especially 8, you had much more of the broody main character. So 9 and then 10 trying to get back to more of a jovial MC.
Yeah, Zidane is not real big on brooding. It's true.
No. 13 gets back to brooding main character. I still have not played 16.
I have not played past 9. I started 10. I never got far in it, and I have not played one since.
Gameplay in 10, and actually the story is quite good.
Yeah.
And despite what Joe says, I actually love 10 too because I love Yuna and she gets to come into her own in that game. But
I just didn't like where I played 10. It's much more of a melancholic game and everything. And then first thing when I start 10-2, it starts off with a J-pop concert.
yeah, Yuna gives a J-pop concert. She becomes like manic pixie dream girl with guns. It's
I don't know. I might be sold to give that one a try now.
Maybe if you give a break in between playing 10 and 10-2, playing one right after you beat the other one,
what's this?
Too much of
give a break. I'm being
shock.
encouraged to just jump to the one that starts with a J-pop concert.
All right. Well, let's move to the second random question, because I know this has been brought up a bunch on, Data's podcast. Everyone here has watched it, so I'll just ask everyone, who is your favorite Futurama character?
Oh, geez.
It has to be Dr. Zoidberg for me. I just love whenever he's on screen. He's just the funniest.
The lady has good taste. Zoidberg is hilarious.
And that is not a question I expected to be asked.
Can we say our favorite jokes with the character?
You can. It's been a while. It's been like 10 years since I watched the show, so I will not remember them well.
It's when they're doing the alien autopsy on Zoidberg, and it's all serious, and then they're looking at the contents of his stomach, and they go, 1 deviled egg, and then he wakes up and eats the same deviled egg. Oh my god, it's too good.
Yep, that's a good moment. The same deviled egg. I love Bender, probably, if you're going for a main character. If you're not going for a main character, then Hedonism Bot is hilarious every time he's on screen. But I can't do...
Hedonism Bot is good.
Dak on our show does an excellent Hedonism Bot impersonation. I cannot do it. So
He does great impersonations of everybody.
Yep.
His Zoidberg, and those are great.
I think I'm going to have to go with pretty basic. I think I'm going to have to go with Zap Brannigan after thinking about it more. I think he has some of the funniest jokes in the whole show.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Just
funny
that, my favorite joke involving him is when they're talking about how he beat the Killbots by just realizing their counters only go so high, so he just heroically sent wave after wave of his own men to die until they all reset. And then he gets a medal for it. Oh my god.
I was listening to one of y'all's Way of Kings episodes, and somebody brought up like the art of war, and the first thing that pops into my head is like, or mine Zap Brannigan's Big Book of War.
Oh man. And then for non-main characters, I think I got to go with Richard Nixon. I think he's a great president in that universe, and I love that a one-episode joke became such a long-term character in there.
Well, because Billy West's version of him is so hilarious with like the "Arroo."
But the rules say no body can have more than these terms. As you see, I have a new body. Oh, so stupid.
All right. Then for me, I'll probably be basic. I'm just going to go with Fry. I enjoy like the idiot main character trope. Him, Homer Simpson. Those sort of things are typically pretty fun. And like I said, I have not watched the show since I watched them all on DVD when Justin let me borrow it. And that was before they released any of the movies or the Comedy Central stuff. So it's been a long time since I watched. So I do not remember the jokes that well.
Yeah, you've missed out on a lot of stuff if you didn't see the movies, the Comedy Central stuff.
No. I watched one episode of it on Comedy Central.
I got to change my non-main character to Robot Devil, actually, after thinking about it. I forgot about him for a second, but I think he's one of the funniest ones whenever he comes on.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Or Santa Claus. Man, there's so many good non-main characters in there.
You started to say you were switching it, and you're like, Robot, no, like he's going to say Robot Santa, because...
I might switch it to Santa. It's a tough choice.
And he was John Goodman the first time. That's that also
great.
hard to beat.
Ho, ho, ho. Fry, you can't go out. Don't you know about Santa Claus? Oh, I know about Santa Claus. Wink.
Wink.
I remember watching that, like when it aired live on Fox, and the next day went to school. We had art, so it's like, all right. And I drew Robot Santa during art class.
Are you a good artist? Could they tell what it was, or was somebody like, "Why did you make Santa dead?"
My art is usually not very good. That one I did a little better because a lot of the robot were straight lines, so it was simpler.
Way to go, Little Joe! You pulled it off.
But I think
Yeah.
my favorite one episode thing was the neutral planet. That's the one that I thought was the funniest shit I'd ever seen.
Tell my
wife
hello.
I have no. Yeah, I said hello. Yeah. Oh my god, I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah. Well, I want to
worn
say
out
my.
those DVDs. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
My honorable
Jesus, yeah.
mention character is Slurms McKenzie.
Oh yeah.
Wormy wham wham wazzle.
No, babes, I've partied enough.
Party on.
I almost said Roberto because I just was like, I gotta practice my
Yeah.
stabbing, Red.
Yeah, he's good, man. That show is so much funnier than it has any right to have been.
It's true. Like, we probably do Futurama all day. We should probably continue with your show.
Mhm. That's
Yep.
true.
Oh, don't worry. Looking at the amount of minutes we spent talking so far, compared to last week when we were going over movie sequels, that went on much longer. Way too long.
Jada, did you say your favorite?
Yeah. My favorite Futuramas, I did.
Yeah, it was Hedonism Bot and
Oh, your honorable mention.
Bender as the main, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, your Bender in.
All right. So let's get back to Stormlight.
Sorry.
Sorry. Now,
Just remember
realized
Bender's dream when Fry moves in with him. Kill all humans, kill all humans. Starts turning into more of a kinky dream. No, baby, I gotta kill all humans.
Hey, sexy mama. Want to kill
Yeah.
all humans?
Yeah, that was it. Oh my god.
all right. Now let's get back to Stormlight.
Yeah,
One
quick,
thing I
before think of
realized-
another one.
Now, one thing I realized is last week we forgot to do our recap, so we'll get back into it. And I know it's Sheta's turn. So, Sheta, time for you. Recap the chapters we went over last week.
What? Our rule is
Justin
guess.
did it the last
Guess
time we did
doesn't.
this, so it's your turn.
I feel very cheated. Okay. Let me get my notes. Last week was okay, so chapters 20 through 25, I believe. Okay, so we start with at the war camp with Dalinar and them. I think they went to what were they doing? Going to the party, or was that later?
Yeah, they went to the King's Feast.
Okay, yes. King's Feast. The king's mom shows up. Dalinar gets all shy. And then they kind of talk and flirt a little bit. And they also talk about how the king needs help. And then we go to Kaladin and his crew. And they're coming up with a plan to get knobweed grass to try to make some money, right? And then we learn about Rock's backstory, which was very interesting and fun. Not fun because his king dies and he's a slave now, but
the Choldung was fun.
yeah, that was fun. And then Kaladin's like, that's it. We need some Choldung. Then we go back to the Dalinar and them. And let's see. He's trying to get other princes to like go out with him and like not go out with him, but like fight with him and team up with him because he's trying to still get them together, but nobody wants to. And he's getting all disheartened. Let's see. My notes are so useless. They just have my theories on them. So like I'm trying to remember.
Okay, so your favorite High Prince made a move, and Adolin had a discussion with his father.
Okay, yes. Right. Sadius is now Prince of Secrets. Prince of
Secrets.
Information. And
I like Prince of
and
Secrets
then
better.
Yeah, that's good.
and Dalinar's kind of like, what? I wanted to be something special, and now I can't. Or now he's doing this. He's kind of like, yeah. Then, yeah. Adolin gets in a fight. He kind of calls his dad out and is like, you're old man. And I just have to say it. And so they're both kind of shaken because they got in a bad fight.
And there was one flashback chapter.
A Kaladin flashback, yes. Where he I don't remember what he does.
They meet the new city lord.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so they
nice
meet the
guy.
new city. Yeah, no, he wasn't nice. He was rude, and we were left with, we don't know what's going to happen to his town and his people and his family and stuff.
I'm sure it's all happy stuff and everything will go well.
That's my
Nah.
theory. Everything goes fine, and he's still living there to this day. This was all a dream.
I mean, maybe.
Yep.
That would be a
maybe.
twist. That would be an M. Night
That
Shyamalan twist right there.
That would be a I'm going to stop reading. This is 3 fucking books of this kind of twist.
Something's going to happen. No, it doesn't.
Those
Nothing
are
happened.
those are my most hated twists ever. Is it was all a dream or it was a vision of someone had right before they died. It worked in the short story from the 1800s. Since then, it just seems lazy.
Yeah, you can do that one time.
I'd say
That's
there's
it.
an example I think did it okay, but it would be spoiling the entire thing, so I will not. But
Yeah.
there
I
is
was
at
about to
least
say, yeah,
one
it's
I
hard
think does
to-
it fine. Yeah.
Unless you're just going like, I thought Dallas did it really well. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Dallas did it so good. I will defend
It's
that
like-
till the day I die.
Oh, we get Patrick Duffy back, but we killed him. That season's a dream.
The whole season.
Problem solved forever.
Yeah.
Yep, that's literally like the season finale of one season. They killed one of the main characters. Then they were
Sheta,
able to
you've
bring him
definitely
back.
seen parodies of that, even if you didn't realize it.
Oh, I'm sure. It sounds familiar.
So there's an entire season of that show that's just a dream.
They should have done that on The Simpsons with Who Shot Mr. Burns and just kept it going a whole season. Like, he's dead.
I remember when that happened and all the big contests and stuff they were trying to do for, trying to win something if you could correctly predict it.
Yep. Simpsons writers
My
from 20 years
prediction was
ago,
wrong.
30 years ago, I'm available if you need some punch-ups on your script.
Oh yeah, and in case anybody missed last week's episode, just so everyone knows, for the Team Sadius versus Team Dalinar battle, Sheta is 100% on Team Sadius.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
You
what?
guys don't mind if I take some notes on this, right? Hold on, it's like, Sheta is evil. Got it.
we called her out on it a lot last time.
He's not evil. He's got his priorities right.
Yeah.
Evil priorities.
Jeffrey Dahmer was just a hungry guy who had his priorities right. It's okay, yeah.
I mean,
Now that's on the internet forever. Ugh.
Justin, you can't argue too much. You were Team Straff.
Oh, I was Team Straff did nothing wrong. I've still seen no evidence of it.
I mean, he did one thing right, and that was get chopped in half. So
See, exactly. People are so hard on the guy, but he did that very well. If he had been more competent, that wouldn't have happened.
Technically, I don't know if he actually gets chopped in half. It says the sword came down on him, and the horse got sliced in half. He might have just been crushed into, like, mush.
I'm going
Oh.
to guess a version of both.
I'm okay either way. So
All right, so this week, we finished part 2 by reading chapters 26 through 28. So, Justin, Sheta, what are your thoughts on these chapters?
I hate these chapters. No, I'm kidding. I have the same comments I have for the last, 20 chapters you've asked that. I have no complaints whatsoever.
I'm really excited about these chapters because more clues
There
and
were
more
a lot of
reveals.
clues.
So,
what clues are we talking about? Hold on, you can't just leave me hanging.
They're blue.
a clue. That's what I do when I read.
I'm always watching for clues in the epigraphs. Those are the ones that I find the most interesting.
Man, there's nothing in those.
Nothing.
It's
Oh,
a
nothing
separate
to
thing. Nothing to help.
nothing for the plot that you're watching unfold in front of you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Which is
I don't
what
know
I
when.
know you're most engaged in.
Yeah, we don't know when the epilogues are happening, so could be, that's a separate mystery.
Mm-hmm. But that's the mystery I'm most compelled by because it seems
Okay.
like a wider universe mystery.
You take care of that mystery, and I'll take care of this mystery.
Take care of it. If it's anything like
solved
some of
that
the
one.
past books, they're going to give me just enough information to feel stupid when I don't figure it out, but not enough to figure it out.
That's what she means by take care of it. You handle the feeling stupid.
Okay, I do that very well, so that'll be good.
All right. Well then, let's get right into our recap of these chapters then. We'll start off with the first one we did today, Chapter 26, Stillness. Epigraph. I am being chased. Your friends of the 17th Shard, I suspect. I believe they're still lost, following a false trail I left for them. They'll be happier that way. I doubt they have any inkling what to do with me should they actually catch me.
That's fascinating. I like the use of shard there. I'm curious. With these, we had that last episode where, one of the last two, where they referenced Cell, I think it was, and I'm like, well, that's awfully familiar. But I'm going to be so mad when I realize that they've referenced something I've heard of before, too, that I did not take enough notes to remember. But I don't think we've heard that before that I can think of. But with all the love of shard plates in here, I'm curious if that has anything to do with it.
17th and Shard are both capitalized here. It feels like it must mean something.
Yeah, it's
Is it
it's
spelled
an
out?
official title. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not the number.
Okay.
It's written like a title, like it's how he uses it in the sentence, basically.
Okay. I thought it was like the 17th Brigade or something.
That's interesting. So it had less importance to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not like the name of a gang or something. I
Mhm.
thought it was just like.
A gang. I like that. The Southside Snakes are after me.
Yeah, exactly.
And Justin, I will let you know, the word shard, capitalized, was used earlier in these epigraphs of this letter.
What are they? I'll have to go back and check those again.
Man, I really have to just reread the chapters in the real book because I'm missing out on so many clues. I forget that
And I
he
know,
has put a lot of clues like that into the writing.
Yeah, he likes to punish you filthy audiobook listeners.
I know. Let me know if he ever highlights a word in red or something.
In red, like this is House of Leaves.
Yeah.
yeah, and I know that the 17th Shard is also the name for like the big like Brandon Sanderson like fan community.
Is
All right, well,
it?
that makes it for sure an important thing. Then you shouldn't have told me that. That's making me put
Yeah, that's
way too
meta.
much together in my head.
The
Now I've
thing
got
is,
whole theories based on that information alone.
now Data, you've been around longer, so I don't know if you could correct me or not. Like, was the 17th Shard a fan group before this book, and he put it in there as a reference to that, or did they come up with the name afterwards?
That is actually an excellent question that I do not know the answer to offhand, because this was... I feel like this one must have been first because of how early this book was, but I don't know when the 17th Shard, the fan site, was founded. Oh, okay, hold on. Here we go. It started out as Hoyd's Compendium and then reopened in 2010 as the 17th Shard. And so this book came out
In 2010.
Okay, so I still does not answer that question because it didn't say when in 2010 that they reopened it.
It'd be quite a coincidence if they came up with the name separately like that, though.
I know.
Oh, okay. So Brandon suggested the name to them, is what their website says.
Wow. So
That's
he came
funny.
up.
Like, I see what you guys are doing, and you may want to call yourselves this. Is that it?
That's so funny.
Back into the episode. Back to the chapter. So Dalinar and Renarin are listening to a passage of the Way of Kings being read to them by one of Dalinar's scribes, Litima. It is one of Dalinar's favorite passages, but today it didn't bring the normal solace because he keeps thinking about what Adolin had said to him. He wonders if his visions were just creations his mind has made to make him feel like a hero. He also worries that being told to unify in the visions sounds similar to what the hierarchy tried to do. After Litima leaves, Renarin asks if there is something Dalinar needs him to do, and Dalinar tells him that High Prince Aladar has turned down his offer to work together, and he asks who he should approach next. Renarin says that Adolin is more worried about Sadeas making a move against them, and Dalinar says that us moving against Sadeas would undermine Alethkar as a kingdom, and Sadeas won't move against us for the same reason.
Yeah, you really have to wonder because it seems like Adolin, and then by extension Renarin here, like what do they want Dalinar to do? Like just attack Sadeas unprovoked because he looked at us mean? Like what are we trying to influence Dalinar to do here?
I think people like Adolin put out their thoughts and suggestions without really thinking them through all the way a lot of the times.
Yeah, sounds like a teenager who's just like complaining about stuff without really thinking of how and what you're supposed to do about it.
It's part of the reason I don't really support the decision Dalinar is thinking about making later, because even though he does have some things that are like troubling for his group or house, or I don't know why I can't think. He does carry a certain wisdom of age that his son does not seem to have yet be even close to having, even though I don't dislike Adolin at all. I find it really interesting, though, because his son talks to him and says all this stuff, and then immediately he starts questioning himself in a way we have not seen him do yet, you know? And I'm like, I really believe that this guy is kind of, or his whole life was kind of just a simple soldier, because he reads these texts and he starts being so influenced by them. And then his son says something and he starts being so influenced by him. Like, he seems like somebody who's used to just not thinking about things. So when a thought crosses his path and he is forced to think about it as he does now, he reacts very strongly to it, which I find very interesting.
You mean. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he just he's so lost, you know, never thought about this stuff before, is now forced to, and doesn't really have anyone to help him and guide him. I think he should find like a priest or something to help him.
He tried that. It said later, the priest said, "Oh, these are just delusions you're having because you're in mourning," basically.
Well, when
Adolin talked to the priest, he was like, "Well, I don't want to say your father's insane and sacrilegious, but
he is.
I didn't say that." It's basically how it was.
If someone
You
else
should
were
watch
doing this,
him.
they would be insane and sacrilegious.
Yeah. The order says I should say that, and that's my duty to say it, but I didn't technically say it.
The death of his brother seems to have hit him really hard, so it's hard to blame him.
No, I don't blame him at all. I actually think it's good that he's considering what people are thinking so much. It just seems like he's not used to thinking before he takes actions. He's used to, like we see later, rushing in and just being a badass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really fascinating. You almost never start a story from this point in a character. Normally he'd be a side character we'd see, and then he'd change over time. To start like this, I find very interesting.
Continuing on, and then horns go off, announcing that a chrysalis was spotted on the Shattered Plains. The second set of horns going off, letting them know where it is, and Dalinar knows, all right, that's within striking distance for us.
How do you picture this? Because, okay, horns go off, it means there's a chrysalis. I get that. That's fine. The second set of horns comes, and it indicates that it is the 23rd plateau of the second quadrant. So are you waiting like 223 blasts of horn? Or how do you guys picture that happening?
I figured it'd have to be something like Morse code, where you have like dashes or dots to quickly like let you know, to let you know that's a quadrant and like that sort of stuff.
Okay, I could see that.
I put no thought into it whatsoever. I just heard two horns and never questioned it.
Who's just going through life without thinking?
All right, Dalinar goes to his war room and he meets with his high officer Teleb. It has been months since his last plateau assault, but Dalinar decides, all right, we're going to march on this one. And Teleb asks, what about Adolin? And Dalinar says, send for him. Then we get a scene of Dalinar suiting up in his shard plate, and pretty much because of the weight of it all, you have to be suited up from the bottom to the top in order to get the strength from the legs and stuff to hold up the rest. And while he's armoring up, Teleb asks about his proposal for their own man-carried bridges. Dalinar tells him that he doesn't like those bridges, but Teleb says, we'll just use it to get to the plateau quicker, but we won't use it on the actual assault. Dalinar begins to turn him down, but he thinks about how a good officer is one who tries to innovate and offer proper suggestions. So he tells Teleb, all right, you may recruit and train a single bridge crew and we'll see how it goes.
What Dalinar does with these bridge crews, if this keeps going, is going to tell us a lot about whether he's going crazy and being like changed to something, or whether the new way he's going is actually like good, because it will stop him from doing this abominable thing,
So you think that using the man carried bridges the way that they're suggesting here is still bad?
I don't think that it's as bad as it is, with the final run. He's trying to keep it good, but he's on the slippery slope towards being like, well, maybe if we give them shields and they run up, it'll be okay. And then a little later, it's like, if we could go a little faster, if we took away the shields, they'd be aiming at them, all that kind of stuff. I'm very curious to see where this is going to go, because he is adamantly against them, which anyone who's not evil would be, or who at least thinks about the men on the field as it sounds like the codes are telling him that he should do. So I'm very curious to see that, because these bridge crews kind of being a metaphor for how war is run and stuff, I think is a really fascinating one, because you send men to die in battle, you don't think much of it, and then going from sending them into battle to just sending them to be shot, if you're just not on the field in your mind, if you're not those men, if you're above them, it's such an easy call to make. It's the obvious thing to do. Men die in battle. That's normal. You need sacrifice. But if you're like, there's the line about command as you would want to be commanded and stuff like that. You would not send people to die such a nihilistic nothing death for not a good enough reason, just to harvest the gem before your other allies find it. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So riches, not good enough to sacrifice a bunch of men horribly. Okay.
Not pointlessly, and not riches that their families aren't even going to have a chance to see.
So Alethi culture, not great. Yeah.
I have not been a fan since the beginning of this book. I hate Alethis so goddamn much.
I don't think you're supposed to love them in general. Yeah.
I get the vibe that by the end of the book, I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to be like Klingons or something, where I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to be one, but I am fascinated by their culture. It's pretty badass. I'm curious to see, because in previous books, Brandon Sanderson isn't that anti-war from what I've seen, if there's a purpose for it, but I don't think most sane people are pro just, for fun war in the modern day. So I don't think I've ever been more curious for what the moral of a story was going to be than this one. That's what I'm trying to say.
We'll get to the end, and the moral is war good. Don't listen to that Dalinar guy.
If you sell it in the Starship Troopers way, I could enjoy it. We'll see. They're doing their part. Are you?
I mean, there are giant multi-legged thingies that we fight here, so
Yeah.
Someone's got to fight him.
Does someone have to fight them? Really?
That is the
someone's gotta
question.
kill him.
That sounds like separatist talk to me. We've got to have you investigated.
Sheta is Team Sadius. You have to remember that.
I never said those words in my life.
Too late. Team assignment's done. Sorry.
All right, so Dalinar heads out to the staging area, and he meets up with Adolin. Dalinar, they're looking at each other, they're uncomfortable, but Dalinar tells Adolin that you said what you had to say. Adolin says that he's not sorry for saying it, but he is sorry for where and how that he said it. And then Adolin waves at a girl, and, Dalinar's like, who is that? And he's like, oh yeah, that's Malasha. And she's kind of annoyed with me because I would not allow her to come along on this plateau assault.
I've got to ask something that may or may not be a spoiler and may or may not sound completely stupid. Is he banging these girls, or is he just innocently courting them? Because that would make the character very different in my mind.
I believe he's only just courting them.
Just innocently courting them? So he's not a playboy. He's just... You have a theory about what?
I have a theory.
I don't even
will
know what
share
that's going to
later.
lead to.
It could be.
What's that?
I have a theory I will share later.
If you're going to make me wait, it better be fucking good.
Okay, it's good.
Oh, it's good. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there has been nothing in the text so far to suggest that Adolin's just sleeping with them and dumping them.
I hope not. Well, no, I don't think he's dumping them. I think he'd be like, if he was doing that, he'd be thinking it's a real thing. Like, oh, we're going to get married. Oh, it didn't work out. Like, not like he's a scumbag, just as he secretly a playboy, basically.
I mean, born women can't even show their left hands. I think the culture's a bit prudish.
That is true. That is true.
And we do know from last time, Malasha's a little bit more religious.
The question is, are they letting him see that hand before he breaks up with them? And he's like, I got what I needed.
Stop it. Oh, I won't make that joke. Okay, move on.
Oh, God.
Hey, just be glad we haven't gotten any more Bridgman jokes so far this week.
I actually forgot to prepare my Bridgman stand-up routine. I'm sorry. Maybe next time.
All right. So, as they are about to leave, a messenger comes up to Dalinar and says that High Prince Sadius has demanded admittance to the war camp. And he claims that the King's writ grants him the right to come here and investigate. And Dalinar tells him to, all right, admit Sadius. So Sadeas comes over to Dalinar, and Dalinar tells him that this is an inconvenient time. But Sadeas says that he'll just interview some of the troops while they're on their way out, and, him interviewing them, it can't possibly make Dalinar go any slower than he usually does anyways.
Sheta, do you still think Sadeas is on the level and fine when he's just coincidentally showing up at this time?
He said he wasn't going to slow him down.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess
He's just
I'm
doing
mistaken.
his job.
This army is preparing to go out on the plateau as quickly as humanly possible. I really doubt Sadeas had time to hear the horns, know Dalinar was going, and be like, hey, guys, get together. Come on, we're going to go screw with them right now.
Exactly. He was already on his way.
Unless he got info that there may be one out there somewhere, and he's just waiting out there to do this, to get people while they're the most confused and unaware to try to get some info out of them. I don't trust this guy. I don't trust this guy as far as I could throw him while he's in shard plate. That's what I'm saying.
Are you in shard plate?
He is also
better to do. That's sad.
He is also in shard plate. So meaning that if he did not think Dalinar was going out on a plateau assault, why was he just going into his war camp wearing shard plate for an investigation?
Doesn't he love wearing
impressive.
it? Like it says later that a lot of high princes, or not high, whatever, love the excuse to wear shard plate, and he seems like one of them who would to me.
I think if you're walking into the Blackthorn's camp and you're intending to like fuck with him, then you probably want to be prepared just in case.
Yes, for their own safety.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. Clacy finally prompt him to rise to a duel again.
He's unpredictable, so who knows what he's gonna do.
Is he really unpredictable? Dalinar seems
he's
very
crazy.
predictable at this point.
He's been having visions.
Unless there's a storm and he freaks out. You never know. He's going...
This will be the one time I do side with Sadeas. I think it's smarter to wear it around him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so during the march, Dalinar wonders why did Sadeas push so hard to be the High Prince of Information. He thinks that it is a possibility that Sadeas could frame Dalinar for the broken girth, but Dalinar remembers that the visions told him to trust Sadeas. Sadeas rides up next to Dalinar and says that, Dalinar, your soldiers, they're loyal to you. He says that the troops are like mini Dalinars, bundles of emotion wrapped up and tied until they become stiff from pressure.
Jesus.
Kind of kinky, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Go on.
Seeing a whole new side of Dalinar here with that description.
Like Sadeas, have you been having some weird thoughts about Dalinar in your downtime? Because
yeah, he's been having visions of his own, telling him something else about that Dalinar.
There's a
Rust
ship that
Dalinar.
she hasn't considered, quite honestly, is the Sadeas Dalinar ship.
Well, Sheta?
No comment as of yet.
No comment as of yet.
But now it's in your head, so...
We'll see what it develops into.
They did tell me to trust you.
Stop, shut the fuck up. You stupid.
Sadeas says that Dalinar, you want to snap at me. Back in the past, Dalinar's displeasure would have ended with a few heads rolling. But Dalinar says that, yeah, I did kill many who did not discern death. And Sadeas asks if Dalinar ever wants to let out all this anger, and Dalinar says, yes, I do.
Now I gotta ask if trust Sadeas means trust what he says about you and how he says you're weak and you should kill people and then kill Sadeas.
Right.
That's my new wondering about that.
Or trust
Like,
Sadeas to be what you think he is.
That would be a little, I would be pissed if a vision told me that. That's bullshit. But if it's like, he's one of the only men who will tell you how you really are, you should trust him. But don't fucking let him frame you for murder. I forgot to add. I always try to say that, but then you wake up from your dream.
Why don't you start with that next time?
What it literally said was, yes, this is important. Do not let strife consume you. Be strong, act with honor, and honor will aid you. So that doesn't sound like, yeah, you might need to kill Sadeas.
Hey, what's more honorable than killing the guy who's sending Bridgman to their death?
I mean, when you put it like that.
No, I am a hoper that Sadeas is going to wind up being a good guy in this book, but I ain't expecting it from what I'm seeing.
So does that mean that whoever told Dalinar to trust him is also a bad guy?
I don't trust Ever since fucking Elantris, not Elantris, Mistborn, I can't trust any kind of godlike voices in these books. When all those texts turned out to be tweaked in the book, that broke me, and I will never recover in any book of his he ever writes. I don't trust anything anymore. Yeah.
Thaddeus asks if Dalinar still feels the thrill. Dalinar says he does, but he doesn't let it out. And he gives a quote from The Way of Kings, and Thaddeus asks, does it bother you that the Radiants betrayed us? Dalinar responds that the Recreants is an event so old that it's pretty much in the shadow days. And he asks, did the Radiants really betray us? And if they did, then why? Thaddeus answers that, they just used elaborate tricks to imitate powers and pretend a holy calling. When they were discovered, then they fled. But Dalinar tells them, no, their powers were real. Thaddeus asks, well, if their powers were real, then why can't anyone reproduce them anymore? Dalinar doesn't know, and he suggests, well, maybe we're not worthy anymore. And Dalinar says that they need to unify the war camps for the good of Alethkar. Thaddeus says that, yeah, I'm doing that by killing Parshendi, winning wealth for the kingdom, and seeking vengeance. And it would be best if Dalinar started acting like a man again. And he tells him that nobody ever really followed the codes in the past. That book ruined Gavilar, and now it is doing the same to Dalinar. And during their time, while they're traveling there, we also hear about how Dalinar's bridges work. It's pulled by Chulls, then they have a siege tower, and they crank it to lower a bridge, push the tower across, and raise it back up. So there's walls and everything, so you don't have the Parshendi killing everyone that's doing it.
And I am going to be completely honest, that sounds like an incredibly inefficient system. I wonder if there would be a faster way they could do that, would be my thought.
All right, so they arrive at the plateau, and the Parshendi are already there. And so what Dalinar and Adolin do is, in their armor, they leap across the chasm, and they fight the Parshendi alone in order to create a foothold, so that way their bridges can get there lower and allow their men across.
That was some badass shit. I felt like I was playing Dynasty Warriors in this part.
And the thrill rises in Dalinar, and he feels a strength, power, and focus from it. While they're fighting, he notes that the Parshendi, they always fight in pairs. And some of the Parshendi, they have beards, and they have gems woven into the beards. And Dalinar, he also kicks some of the Parshendi bodies, because touching their dead greatly angers them. So that way it brings the focus back onto him whenever he does that.
I've been pretty anti-war this whole time, but I love that strategy so much. Just piss them off.
It seems like kind of a dick move. Yeah, when you're like,
yeah,
I know this particularly upsets them, but you are in war. But also, it's like, if you're in the middle of a battle, maneuvering around the dead is not something that is going to be easy at all. So
there's so many reasons it's a good idea. I would be doing the same exact thing in his situation and laughing about it.
Use every advantage you got.
Yeah. You idiots.
I'm like, if you pile up dead. Yeah, if you piled up a bunch of their dead, are they not going to cross that? Can you create a wall in the middle of battle by haha, dead bodies?
Well, that's a good fucking idea. See? This is the kind of stuff we need on the battlefield for strategy here. If we weren't playing at war and we were trying to actually obliterate their entire race, then we would be coming up with some good ideas like that.
See, now Thaddeus is making sense.
No, Thaddeus doesn't make sense. He's the most playing at war there is. True darkness in war is something I don't think these people have seen for a long time. But what you gotta do, you're in this badass shard plate, tie some dead Parshendi to your armor, and then run into battle. Make your weapons out of Parshendi bones. There's all kinds of stuff you could do here.
Bone nunchucks. Okay, yeah. See it.
Yep.
Start ripping off their armor and making people wear it.
Oh, that'd be too gross. I'd never wear that shit. That's disgusting.
Well, it'll be hard because, clearly, once we find out, it doesn't have straps or anything to connect to you. So
easily
that's
fixed.
What you use their tendons and stuff for. Make some Parshendi jerky and then okay, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, stop.
And during the battle, Dalinar thinks that he has stayed away from this for far too long. And right now, he sees with clarity, and they need to push harder and win more gem hearts. He was the Blackthorn. He was death itself. And then Dalinar feels a sudden revulsion, and the thrill leaves him. He looks around the bodies and wonders, how could a man enjoy this? And as the Parshendi, they come closer to Dalinar, Adolin arrives and kills them. Dalinar watching Adolin, you can see that Adolin had more skill with the blade than any that Dalinar has ever known.
I think if there's a part I'd most want to see in live action from one of these books, it's that. Just the hard cut from this thrilling, exciting Lord of the Rings battle to the hard cut of like the aftermath, a real disgusting war. I think that would be so interesting.
Yeah, you make it all glorious, and then you make it
Mhm.
all like awful. These
Yeah,
people are
like-
dying.
Turn from Starship Troopers to
How
Schindler's
dare you
List like in
enjoy
a
this?
second. Yeah.
Imagine him trying to explain this to another Alethi person. It's like, did you guys ever notice that killing a bunch of people is really messed up? Like, and nobody else has noticed this? Okay.
They just look at you like, what
are you
the fuck
talking
are
about?
you talking about?
It's the best thing ever.
Really, this is, I think, my favorite part in the book so far. I found that so interesting to see that, to have it be written well, because I felt it, the thrill of battle, the writer's trying to get you to feel that and be excited by that, especially since there hasn't really been that much action and war in this book. And then the first time we really get a big sequence of it, he tries to make you instantly, I don't know, rethink your feelings on how thrilling that is and stuff. I thought that was quite well done, and I enjoyed it a lot.
And Dalinar, he resumes fighting and he embraces the thrill again. He needs this victory for himself, for Adolin, and for his men. But the sick feeling returned, and a voice inside him whispered, once these weapons meant protecting.
Chastised is Jesus.
After his bridge is lower, the cavalry charges across. Dalinar looks down at the dead, and he thinks about how the Parshendi's blood, it is orange, their skin is, marbled skin, but their faces still look so human. And he can hear a voice again say, life before death.
See, again, it's really interesting because we have a dehumanized villain they're fighting. So, like, if you really think of them the way they describe thinking about them, it would be silly to think of them as, like, killing at all. The orange blood I thought was so interesting because it's really hard to even feel like you're killing something when you've got a bunch of fucking, like, pumpkin guts coming out of it instead of, like, thick red blood.
It's not like pumpkin guts. It's just orange.
It's just orange.
Yeah.
I mean,
If their
Klingon blood
blood's
is
orange,
pink.
then yeah.
Then it's got to be
If they're-
pumpkin.
If their blood's orange, then I have to imagine when you rip their guts out, they're all going to have an orangish hue as well, right? So pumpkin guts.
All right, fair enough.
I'm trying to think if there's somebody with orange blood in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I kept thinking of that too. Like, but I was actually thinking of Data's blood, which is yellow.
I'm not going to check.
Yeah, tell us.
What is it?
All right.
But yeah, the dehumanized
Yep.
aspect I find very interesting in here. I thought I had more to say on that, but I guess I did not. So go on.
They're jack-o'-lantern
Yeah.
people. We get it. It's fine.
Yep, jack-o'-lantern people.
And Dalinar, he looks back at Sadeas and he can see the disapproval on his look. And Dalinar gets onto Gallant and goes back into the battle. His men were fighting and dying, but this was not the time for second guessing. This was not what the Radiants fought for, but it was something. After the battle's over, Dalinar watches as Adolin cuts the gem heart out of the chrysalis. As Dalinar walked by the Parshendi corpses, he was not disgusted nor excited, but just exhausted. He had never felt revulsion before like he had during the battle. And also during the battle, the thrill felt more subdued, and he didn't fight nearly as well as he used to. And Dalinar wonders what is happening to him. Then he notices a group of Parshendi that are on a nearby plateau watching them. And the one standing in the lead was wearing shard plate. Dalinar wonders why, he hadn't joined the fight, and maybe he had arrived too late. And then that group of Parshendi turn around and leave. And that's the end of the chapter.
That
I like how
overslept thing is-
Dalinar's... Yeah. I like how Dalinar starts basically just growing what we would call a conscience and morality in our modern day type world. And in his culture, he's like, what is wrong with me? Am I going insane for being disgusted by
That
these
voice is
hundreds
Jiminy
of
Cricket.
people I slaughtered? Yeah.
That's
Says a
funny. I
lot
never
about
thought of
their
it like
people.
that.
Dalinar has a cricket in his shard plate. He just does never notice. So.
That was it the whole time. Yep.
The voice I keep hearing. That's cute. Is that an official theory?
It's
That
not the
would-
theory
I don't-
section yet.
Next chapter, he'll
Is it
start
an
hearing
official
when you wish
theory
upon a
that
star.
Jiminy Cricket is canon in here? Is that the question, Sheta?
Yeah.
This
I
isn't
don't know if they
Once
have
Upon a
top hat.
Time.
So
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be really fucking out of place, that's for sure.
Jiminy
Well, it's
Kremlin
upon a
on this
time
planet.
then it would be a character, Justin. So Sadius is Jiminy Cricket, is what I'm saying.
Okay, move on. I don't even want to have that fight. It's too stupid.
Well, it could happen. I think the original talking cricket would be in the public domain.
I am not going to comment any further on this. I want this conversation to die.
All right, now I'm just thinking about Emma from Once Upon a Time showing up with her like red leather jacket and stuff. That could be fun.
Okay. If that happens, I will still read just out of curiosity on where it's going to go and the hopes of seeing Rumpelstiltskin show up.
Turns into crossover fanfic. That'd be amazing.
All right. Anything else from this chapter any of you want to go over?
I think this is my favorite chapter so far because it's saying a lot of the things that I've been thinking and feeling, but just blatantly saying them. I didn't know that it was going to just be that, basically. Those kind of feelings about killing. And I love getting that from the perspective of somebody who says, I've killed many men in my past, slaughtered many men, and now I'm sitting here forced to question it. I think it's so fascinating, especially when everyone around him is like, why are you being so weird about killing? Like, Dad, why don't you want to go out and kill people? Yeah, like killing people is what we do.
We've been doing it for years. Like,
yeah.
Are you feeling bad? Maybe if you got out and killed some people, it would really level you out, you know?
And it did for a second. That's the most interesting part. It really did level him out until that voice came in and was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Damn cricket.
Yeah. Now you know, Dalinar. Killing is wrong. I taught this to Pinocchio once, but he wouldn't listen.
Yeah, that story ends real darkly, actually. It's sad.
Yeah. He went to Pleasure Island, and there's no one left there anymore. I can tell you that.
No, he just became a serial killer after he became a real boy.
Yep.
Yeah,
that boy's name was
what
Jeffrey
happens
Dahmer.
You can't come up with like an Italian serial killer name?
He didn't
Well, he
become an
moved to the
Italian
US
boy just because he was a puppet made in Italy, Joe. Jeez.
He didn't want people to like be racist after he moved to the US, so he had to change his name to something that didn't sound Italian.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next chapter. Oh, wait, no. First, I almost forgot the stuff I always ask now at the end. So, the name of this chapter was Stillness. So, why do you think that was chosen for the chapter title?
I would call it what happens when you kill people and the horrifying introspection you have when you realized you caused that kind of stillness to happen. That's mine.
ooh.
Ooh.
I thought it was more like when you have those quiet moments, you think of those things, maybe. Like you reflect on your actions and
So like the reflection of not spending all your time slaughtering people causes you to start to contemplate life. Is that what you're saying? Or the calm of the bad makes you think it?
I don't know. I was just trying to sound all artsy like you.
What? You did sound artsy,
sounded
though.
wonderful. Yeah.
Now
just
I
cut
want.
out
I
his
just want
question and let it be dramatic.
I was super interested. I want to hear more.
Just when you are sitting, when you have these quiet moments, is when your conscience comes in and starts questioning your actions. Is all.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And maybe like the thrill is very loud and takes over you and stuff, but maybe that's not good. That's when you don't really think. You kind of have the what is it in D&D? Blood rage or
like just a barbarian rage?
Yeah, barbarian.
Or you're thinking of a blood rage from Mass Effect with the Krogan have, right?
Yeah.
When they just get into that heat of battle and their body just takes over.
Yeah. What is it called in D&D though? When you...
It's just called raging.
Rage.
Yeah, you rage. Okay, yes, rage. So yeah, you just go kind of like, you see red and you just kind of don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And you get an extra attack and
take
more damage.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones.
Sheta, haven't you played a barbarian before?
I'm playing one now and we have fought like twice, so...
Were none of the fights enough to make you angry, so you didn't have to rage?
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, I feel like I could take these guys without raging. So,
Yeah. When you're a barbarian and you keep having that thoughts, you know you're not fighting often enough or dangerous enough stuff.
And it was true. I barely got to do anything before it was over.
Maybe that's Dalinar here. Is he is your barbarian where he hasn't been fighting enough. He hasn't killed it. He's stopped killing so many people lately, and it's causing him to think. It's
I like thinking of him like a barbarian like that. That's interesting. Like that's his true nature. The way they describe him, it sounds like that's what he was. I would love to see a flashback to see how he was in battle.
We saw him. He was drunk, passed out.
That's why I said in battle. It's so fascinating to think that drunken guy they just passed by was this introspective philosophical character.
Right. Not even the same.
Maybe it was a drinking battle, you know?
Yeah, it could have been.
And he won.
I mean, does anyone really lose?
Yeah, we all win.
Wait, Sheta, if he was passed out, wouldn't he be the loser? Aren't the winners usually the ones that don't pass out?
The winner passed out an hour ago. Or the loser passed out an hour ago.
The loser is dead.
He had some drinks to celebrate his victory in the drinking contest.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
you know, one thing led to another.
And now his brother's dead.
Yep.
Just gotta keep bringing that up. Poor guy.
And that's why he's a philosopher now.
Yeah. So if you ever want to, there's a tip for all the listeners out there. If you're ever having like trouble drinking a little too much, just kill your brother, and it'll solve all of your problems.
Well, you can't outright kill him. You need him to be killed, and it's your fault in your mind.
Yeah.
Then it'll solve your problems, or more likely lead to you drinking more. So probably not the best advice.
The other way works better because you get arrested and sent to jail where there is no alcohol.
Yes.
And then you're
good.
Good.
Viewers who have problems with alcohol, the best way to get sober is commit murder and go to prison.
Yep, cold turkey.
You'll be sober for 20 years to life.
Oh, they'll have ways to make or get alcohol while in prison. I've watched the show Prison Break.
Scruffy from Futurama. It's like you can make sand on the turlet. Force it shank or be shaked.
Now that is the best joke in the whole show. This scruffy character you've never seen, you see in their little what if machine. And they're in the machine, they're like, who are you? Scruffy, the janitor. After that, he's always in the show now. Best introduction to a character I've ever seen.
Yeah, Scruffy should have been honorable mention. I had one thing I wanted to say about this chapter, that when they were getting ready to fight, that anticipation spren started coming out. And I was like, how specific are these spren? Because anticipation is like, I get maybe anger or fear or something like more generic, but anticipation is
very specific.
Very specific. So I wonder how
that
specific.
was my favorite part. I like that. And when it's like anticipation spren and a few fear spren, and I imagine everyone's like, those aren't mine. I'm not scared.
Look at this guy over here with his fear spren.
No, that's not mine. I swear. That's Dave's. He's a pansy. I'm totally ready to fight, man.
That's like someone farted. You're just like, that's not mine.
Yeah. When the fart spren come out, that's when things get embarrassing.
Sorry.
I think the worst would have to be if there are arousal spren. Saying, guy with a girl, arousal spren start popping up. Those aren't mine. No, it's
mine.
School's more embarrassing.
I don't have a crush on her.
I think if you live in a society where that was common, at some point they're just gonna have to own it. Like a girl looks over and there's arousal spren, and she looks at you, and the guy's just like gives her a look like,
Yeah, how you doing?
This is why their society is split. Like men and women don't hang out because of this.
Because it's too awkward from the number of spren that come out. That's the reason.
Yeah, you guys party over there. We're not gonna.
Yeah, but then you get like a situation where a guy is hanging out with like his best friend, his best friend's girlfriend, and then the one guy starts getting arousal spren popping up, and it's like, dude, what the hell?
Again, I really think that as Data says, you're gonna get used to it. That kind of awkwardness would be bred out pretty quickly from the population.
I mean, honestly, you could probably equate it to like a nudist colony, where
that's a good point. Yeah, I've always
it would be obvious for some
Never
people.
wanted to look it up. Yeah,
no, So presumably the awkwardness kind of fades after a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. In fact, we can ask Brandon Sanderson if we ever meet him. And then he
Out
will
of all
quickly
the
escort us out of the con.
People have asked him some messed up stuff. So
Have they? Well, once I've caught up in the books, I'll have to look up and see the most fucked up thing anyone's ever asked him that he didn't yell at them for.
Yeah, there's a whole database where they keep track of various Q&As and convention stuff.
Yeah,
what
Joe was
they
saying
ask and
that.
the answers,
Yeah.
so it's nice.
That will be very fun to look through.
You can't blame the fans for saying that when he.
Yeah, of course you'd say that, Sheta. We've heard your
He
fucked up shit.
incited this by writing this.
Zane and Vin forever.
Hey, Justin, at least they're both alive. Remember, one of her top ships was Vivenna and Claude.
I mean,
God,
Zane not
no.
alive no more.
Yeah. Well, she did thankfully stop her ship after that.
But also Claude was already like shipped up with his girl. So
See, this is what Sheta always says. We try to say it. She's like, no. Brandon Sanderson's the freak, not me. He wrote
He
this.
said that. This girl's keeping her boyfriend around when he's dead. I didn't write that. Like,
Except I didn't tell you that until the book was done.
well, I got the vibes, and I got
I
back.
think the
And
vibes
none
are
of that
definitely
had-
there.
Yeah, but none of the vibes were with Vivenna.
He gave her a look.
I don't need this again. I already suffered through this.
On more than one occasion because of the
Yes.
shipping. All right.
I mean, is
Well,
it better that you've got Syl and Kaladin here for her to ship when Syl is not only not human but like tiny, like Tinkerbell?
Yeah,
Sheta also believes that Syl is Tien resurrected.
And still
I mean,
ships
you know.
them.
Could be.
See, I have an expert saying that it could be.
I'm not allowed to spoil things, so you know what else can I say?
A good job either not laughing or saying, no way she figured it out. Either way, I'm impressed.
Okay, let's just move on to the next chapter. So we're at chapter 27, Chasm Duty. Epigraph. If anything I've said makes a glimmer of sense to you, I trust that you'll call them off. Or maybe you could astound me and ask them to do something productive for once. And this chapter, it's a Kaladin chapter, so we're back with them. And, after having a bridge run earlier in the day, Kaladin heads to the apothecary to sell the knobweed sap he has collected. The apothecary tells Kaladin, yeah, this is worthless, because the wild weeds nearby just aren't potent enough. I'm still going to have to distill it, and I would be lucky just to get a couple spoonfuls from this. So he offers Kaladin
I'm imagining that scene with Comic Book Guy when that lady's like my husband or son or whatever had these old comics in his attic. What are these worth? And he sees like a Radioactive Man #1. He's like, I'll give you 10 cents for the whole box, basically.
Yeah, so the apothecary offers Kaladin only 2 clear marks. Kaladin gets depressed because he works so hard, but then he thinks about how, wait a minute, the sap worked on Leighton's wounds. Then the apothecary ups his offer to 3 clear marks, and Syl tells Kaladin, I think he's lying.
He shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. He caved too quickly. You do that, and you're sure he's trying to scam you. Like,
do that
because I
without
feel
even-
sorry for you.
No, they didn't even try to. Oh my god! I
Yeah,
lost the
before
word.
Kaladin's even bartered, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And Kaladin points out to the apothecary that the army doesn't know how easy it is to get this knobweed sap, do they? So the apothecary, he ups his offer to a sky mark, which is half of what he sells the knobweed sap for. Kaladin is upset for the price the apothecary does sell the knobweed sap for, and with how easy it is to get. And he says that I will expose you because people are dying from the prices that you have. And the apothecary tells him, no, nobody's dying because the high princes, they have more than enough money and they will pay the prices that I'm offering. All Kaladin would do by exposing me is just make Sadeas richer because he'll have to pay less for the knobweed sap.
That did it.
Yep, so Kaladin takes the apothecary's deal and he gives him an offer that, you know what, I will keep collecting the knobweed sap for you. That way, if the armies ever find out what you are doing, you can plead ignorance and just saying that you don't know how rare this stuff is and you're just buying it from me. And so the apothecary agrees to it.
Yeah,
See, this is what happens. Oh, you go first. Sorry.
I was going to say, fun fact: the 2 clear marks that he started out offering, the 1 sky mark that he goes for eventually is about 60 times what he was initially offering. So,
Jesus.
quite a change.
This is what happens in a society where you don't let men read. The frickin' generals of the army are getting scammed by some random merchant because nobody can just look up and be like, or all the war guys who are making all the decisions can't just be like, according to this book, it says that it's worth this much.
Yeah, but the women are the scribes and stuff. Why aren't they telling them this?
Because they're not making the war decisions.
'Cause they
One
hate their
probably did
husbands.
once, and then one of the guys laughed her off. It's like, no. You don't understand the way of war and medicine.
All right, suit yourself. I'm not paying the bills.
Or if they start questioning it, they're going to start questioning when their wives are asking for more money to go buy all this random crap they want to get that they're paying, that they're giving
the
them
wives
so
are
much more
smart.
than they actually need. Yeah.
I'm gonna need like $500 to go on my shoe shopping spree. Yep, that's how much shoes cost. Yep.
Well, you
I mean,
have to remember,
depending
they
on where you
haven't
go.
been on the Shattered Plains. I guess they've been here 6 years now.
That's true.
Before they came out here, we don't know that these knobweed, that it grows all over the place in Alethkar, where they lived before. So it might be easier to find here than there, and the price.
That is a good point.
knows?
Yes. I also like when he
so
says, yeah, me and all the other medical merchants, he just straight up admits so quickly, we all got together and decided what the, quote, fair price was going to be, and just basically decided we're not going to tell them how fucking not that valuable this stuff is. That made me like this guy.
Price fixing. Classic. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. When you're doing it against Sadius, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm like, especially when he, as he points out, like, do you know how much money they're getting on these plateau runs? Like, nobody is going in need of this. It's like, all right.
So, as Kaladin Skymark, he thinks about how he used to have a plan to escape. He would turn his slave brand on his head into a war scar and pretend to be a deserter, and he could use the money like this Skymark to survive. He thinks that he could try that now, but then he would be betraying the rest of Bridge 4. But then in his mind, he thinks, you're not going to be able to save these bridgemen, just like you couldn't save Tien. Then he argues with himself, and no, he could not leave them. He had to save them for Tien and for his own sanity. And then Kaladin is told by Gaz that they have been put on chasm duty. They were supposed to be helping the forge, which is typically an easy job, because they're meant to be helping the blacksmiths, but the blacksmiths just find the bridgemen too much trouble, so usually they just wind up standing there.
Did nobody ask the blacksmiths, like, hey, do you guys want some help? You just start sending people there? It's bizarre.
I'm like, no, we don't. It's like, well, you're getting help anyway.
Well, don't they say they're basically just trying to keep them busy anyways? So it's like they just want them to have some work to do because they know if they don't keep them busy, they're going to jump in the fucking off the cliff, basically. Or think maybe we could attack these guys hopelessly. Like, we'll die, but at least we'll die quickly.
Yeah, no free time for you.
Mm-hmm.
Gaz says that nobody cares if Bridge 4 is treated unfairly, and it'll be good for the others to see Bridge 4 paying for bringing back their wounded. Because if all the bridgemen brought back their wounded, then the barracks would be overrun. Kaladin tells him, I'm not going to be the one to take the blame for this one. They're going to know that you're the one that switched our duty. And then we jump forward a little bit in time, and Bridge 4, they've climbed down into the chasm, down like this rope ladder. And chasm duty, pretty much their job is to go down here and collect armor, weapons, and spheres left over from bodies of those that died in the battles. Because some of the bodies, they fall from above in the plateaus. Sometimes when it rains or there's storms, the bodies get swept, so they're all like together. And the crews, they hate chasm duty because afterwards they get thoroughly searched to make sure that they aren't hiding spheres any possible places. And it's embarrassing.
It's funny because my first thought was, why don't they just steal stuff when they're down there? Then I thought, well, how would they hide it? And I'm like, oh, well, I know how they'd hide. Oh, nope, they thought of that too. Never mind. Shit. Though I was thinking, if you find a sphere, is there any reason you couldn't eat it and then just shit it out later? Is there something about them that would make them difficult to pass?
They're huge.
I mean, yeah.
How
big are they? How big are they?
Justin, I'll tell you, that gets brought up later, and they're like, yeah, there's no way you could swallow that. You'll just choke to death.
I saw them as like a marble. How big are they?
I think it
Like
talks
a
about it in
baseball?
like one of the very early Shallan chapters.
Yeah.
Like a thumbnail size or something like that.
Yeah, and
can
I think it was
swallow a
like about the
thumbnail.
size of your thumb, like the last knuckle on your thumb from there to the end or something.
Oh,
like
that was it. You could totally swallow that if you tried hard enough. If you exercised enough to do it ahead of time. You got nothing better to do. Might as well.
How would you exercise this?
You got a lot of downtime as a bridgeman. That's all I'm saying. I will go no further.
I like the quote actually in here from Brandon. It says that they're like a big marble, but not quite as big as a shooter. So,
how big is a
all
shooter?
you marble aficionados out there?
The bigger one, yeah.
Yeah,
that one's like.
It's hard to describe. I know a shooter when I see one.
They're
I'm
about
looking it up.
3/4 of an inch in diameter is what this says. Is a shooter.
Okay, that would be hard to swallow, but they're not that big.
You
Oh
wanna
God,
risk
they're
your life?
okay. Bigger than that's going to be hard to get down. But a professional sword swallower could do it. That'd be my only goal if I was a bridgeman. Then you have more money to spend gambling when you get back up.
As Joe says, they have thought of that. And it will be
Okay. I look forward to hearing about it then.
All right. And then the other reason that the bridgemen don't like having chasm duty, because while they're down here, there is a chance they could run into a chasm fiend in the chasms. All right. And as they're walking through the chasms, Kaladin, Teft, and Rock are having a discussion. They talk about how these chasms would get flooded during a rain, and it would be impossible to survive down here during a high storm. And Teft says, yeah, it smells worse down here than a horn heater boots, but no offense, Rock. Rock says that if he was offended, then he'd just challenge, Teft to a duel. And he explains that up in the peaks, their duels are not fights, but they involve mud beer and singing. And then Kaladin notices that Dunny is walking nearby trying to listen in, and Kaladin brings him into the conversation. And Rock asks what Dunny's name means, but Dunny's like, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Rock explains that his name is a poem of a description of a rock that his father found the day he was born. I saw this the other day when I was on the Coppermind. Somebody asked Brandon a translation of that poem, and he gave one. Oh, where's the link to that? All right, so the poem roughly translates to, I saw a beautiful wet stone that no one is paying attention to, but it was really cool because of the water pattern on it.
I'm sorry, it was really cool, did you say?
Yep, it was really cool because of the water pattern on it. So that's technically what Rock's real name translates to.
Well, I think I will name my kid that. But in English.
But the translated version, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can call him Rock for short. So it's all good.
Nope, full name every time.
Right. Like I also
and
love
Rock says
Sorry.
Rock says that the best insults in the peaks involve a poem that rhymes with the person's name. And Dunny winds up saying a little bit of a rhyme, and Kaladin's like, hey, that sounds like a song. Dunny explains that, yeah, I thought of it to the tune of a song. So Rock commands Dunny to start singing, and Dunny does.
Sheta, I gotta know how that whole part was in the audiobook.
What do you mean?
When he sings it out in like a little tune.
It's said like a poem. Yeah. Like it's kind of like the pacing of it was kind of like a poem, not like a song.
Disappointed.
Do you hear any of his singing when after he's commanded to sing?
No.
No. Maybe in the graphic audio you might, but all right. Then Rock joins in with Dunny with some humming. Kaladin looks over at the other bridgemen, hoping to pull them into the conversation too. Scar only gives Kaladin a scowl. Moash and Sigzil won't even look at him, and Pete is only looking at his feet. As they continue walking, Dunny becomes more comfortable in the conversation. Yake, Maps, and a couple of other bridgemen hover nearby, but Kaladin is not able to bring them into the conversation. They arrive at a place with a lot of bodies. Kaladin mentions that, it might be from the run that Sadius had a few days ago. Dunny corrects him to, hi, Prince Sadius. Dunny explains that, yeah, my master beat it into me that I need to use titles. Because Dunny explains that he used to be an apprentice, and Dunny then stops explaining his backstory at that point.
Not everybody can get a backstory break, Dunny. Sorry, we got places to be.
The bridge crew, they begin salvaging the area. And while doing that, Kaladin picks up a spear. And he remembers what Tux had told him when he first began training. The first step is to care. It is the difference between mercenaries and real soldiers. Don't stop yourself from feeling because you will hate what you become. And Moash, he mocks Kaladin, saying that Kaladin, he claims to be a deserter, but Gaz says that that's just stupid boasting. They wouldn't send a man who could fight to the bridge crews.
I want to
Sigil
know when
joins in.
Moas and Gaz were talking so badly.
Yeah,
That
Gaz
little
being friendly.
half-second conversation. What's that?
Gaz being friendly is weird. Like being friends with that guy
Not,
and talking
not
shit
friends,
together.
but talking
Yeah.
shit. Being like, nah, he's full of shit. I just want to see that context so badly.
Like calling
Because
him
it's
Lord
easy to
thing.
forget Gaz is a person. He's not just a antagonistic nuance. He's a whole guy with his own thoughts and feelings. So anytime we get to see a little more of him from not Kaladin's perspective, I find it quite interesting.
Galadon's perspective could be interesting. Maybe he'll show up. Sure.
Yeah. I didn't realize how similar those names were till right now.
I did. I kept
But
mixing
yeah,
them
because
up
you're
too.
listening to them, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's no Eladin, but you know.
Oh god.
Sigil joins in and says that Kaladin thinks that he is better than them, and he's pretending to treat them like his personal troop of soldiers. Drahi defends Kaladin and says, hey, at least he's trying. Earless Jack says that Kaladin only cares about looking important.
Earless Jack was my favorite name. That means Kaladin. Did we see this where he asks names and he says, I'm Earless Jack, and didn't extrapolate any further?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there already a guy named Jax? So this guy has to be Earless Jax, or
Yep. There was a guy named Jax last week. He's not on the bridge or he got shot, but Earless Jack still
But the
liked
name
the earless
stuck.
part. Yeah, the name stuck.
he actually has 2 ears. It's just like a nickname, you know.
He's just really bad at listening. That's what it is.
Or he's Junior. His dad was Earless Jax, who had no ears, and he just named his kid after him. So we don't mention the Junior part, though.
And then the bridgemen, they continue to blame Kaladin for them being down here. And they're like, yeah, he's never held a spear before. And then Kaladin, he begins doing a kata with the spear. And Moash cuts off in the middle of a jibe. And while doing the kata, Kaladin remembers back to Tux and his family. And he feels a strength surge through him while doing the kata. He had always been told that he fought like no one else. Kaladin had cared when he fought, and he fought to protect his men. He had learned quickly how to use the spear. And as he finishes the kata, Kaladin thinks that he missed this. And Kaladin opens up his eyes, and Bridge 4 are all just staring at him in stunned silence. He puts down the spear and tells them to get back to work. I'm sorry. And Kaladin walks over to Rock and Teft, and he tells them that was nothing. It was just a simple kata. But Teft says that he has seen katas before, but never like that. And while Kaladin was doing it, Teft says that he also saw a Windspren just zipping around him during it. Kaladin looks over at Syl, who's just sitting on his shoulder and pointedly not looking at him. Rock says that Kaladin could challenge a Shard Bearer, then he would become a Bright Lord. Kaladin tells him that he does not want to become a Bright Lord. Besides, he tried that once. And then Kaladin cuts himself off and it's like, wait, where's Dunny? We need to find him. So Rock and Teft, they lead Kaladin over to some Parshendi bodies. They could salvage the weapons and the gems from their beards. Kaladin brings up, well, we can take their armor too, but they tell him, we cannot salvage their armor. While going over to the bodies, Rock complains about his facial hair. Kaladin thinks that he himself also should trim up his beard. When they arrive at the bodies, Kaladin can see that they are wearing their red armor, but as he tries to remove it, he realizes that their armor is attached to him. It has grown like a carapace.
So they're crab
Kaladin,
people. Look like crabs, talk like people.
Talk like people, yeah. You can't say it without like crab, people, crab, yeah. Every time.
And Kaladin notes that not even Parshmen can grow carapace. Yeah, Rock picks up one of the Parshendi's knives and notes that, hey, there are glyphs on it. But when Kaladin looks at it, they aren't glyphs that Kaladin recognized. In the center of the hilt, there was a man in shard plate. And Kaladin notes that the Parshendi, they're supposed to be barbarians, but this knife has an image of a herald on it. Likely either Yezerezin or Nalan.
I like how there is so much evidence that they are not mindless animal barbarians, and yet almost every character is like, well, I hear they're just mindless animal barbarians, but they do all this other stuff, but that's not what I hear about them, or not what my experience with the ones back home are, like every single time, and then they just don't go any further into it.
We could research it more.
Sorry. Yeah, but we won't. Yeah. I don't know how you could not have so many questions.
Well, think about real life when like one nation or one like more advanced like people fights another and just calls them that. Like they don't even have like orange blood and people still don't do that. So I totally believe it. I just find it super interesting. Once you
This is
declare,
why-
oh, this is a barbarian culture, you know, you don't
Yep.
really go
Oh,
that
okay.
far into it. Yeah. Because
Mhm.
you're like, well, I have the excuse. I need to have him to kill him. So what do I care?
This is why I can't wait for the girls' chapters.
When they're doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that last one made me very interested.
All the men are like, every hour that we spend researching is 1 hour less that we could be killing.
Mhm.
So, the choice is obvious.
Like, why research when we could just stab?
You do kind of start missing Jasnah and Shallan, which is a very different perspective from either of the ones we get in this section.
I missed him immediately. I was so interested to see more of Yaz and thought she was the most interesting character. Then we like turned 2 pages and it's like, 2, that character's not in it.
No, she's in part 2. We get her next chapter.
You know what I mean.
So the bridgemen, they gather up everything they salvaged and head back. After the rest have started up the ladder, Kaladin and Rock are left at the bottom. Kaladin tells Rock that they are going to win over the rest of the men, and he tells Rock to come to the camp market with him. Because Kaladin, he is going to use a secret weapon. Rock.
A really big rock.
Yeah.
Or
I'm going
rock
to hit
and
him until
roll.
they agree to like me. Oh no, he's going to rock? Is that what you said? Didn't we make that joke last week, Sheta?
We did. He's going to do a concert and get everyone to be friends.
Yeah, that one guitar. That was what it was. Now I remember.
Yeah,
No.
that one.
I mean, here's the
He
moment
needs-
where his whole life is changed by a rock. She
Yeah,
called it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
He,
It was a rock
Kaladin-
concert.
Kaladin tells them he needs someone very charismatic to get the men on their side. So that's why they're bringing in Dwayne Johnson.
Yep. I've called in the appearance will make the men love me.
Well, if you think about
Everyone's
it,
like, I hate the rock.
This is Rock. He can cook. What's Dwayne Johnson's catchphrase?
Oh my
Shut
god.
the
Well, I
fuck
know
up,
who I know who I'm casting now.
I wonder if he ever thought that. Because Rock is a big guy, isn't he?
Rock is like
Yeah.
the biggest guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Alethi, and they're already big, and Rock's bigger.
Yeah, and
The thing
that's
I've
even
always
with...
wondered about is
Sorry, go ahead.
I've always wondered about like carrying the bridge. Like, is how is it for Rock running the bridge? Like, if he's like a foot taller than everybody else, is he more like crouched having to run it, or is the bridge at an angle?
He's doing squats.
I'd love to be on Rock's row because he's going to be then I can possibly reach easily and I can just like he'll be doing all the work for me. That sounds
Just
awesome.
pretend to carry it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's spacers like a booster seat or something. That's what I imagine.
But yeah, they like kind of randomly swap out at certain
Mhm.
points, so you can't have... I guess if you carried your spacer with you, maybe.
Maybe they're connected to the vest that they wear.
I don't think so.
Yep. So that night, Kaladin and Rock, they return to the barracks with a large cauldron. And Teft and Dunny, they've set up a fire pit, and Rock begins making a stew. Hobber walks over to them and he asks what they are doing. Kaladin explains to the group that soldiers would never turn down some stew at the end of the day. He looks over at the barracks and he wishes for the men to remember why they live. Scar is the first to look out the door, and when Kaladin, he holds up a bowl of stew towards him, Rock comes on out and he takes the stew. And others begin joining in as well. Some join in and they're laughing and singing with everyone else, while others are just quietly eating. But none of the bridgemen turn down the stew. They all come out and eat. Gaz looks over at them. Kaladin hits him a bowl, but Gaz just scoffs and leaves.
Aw, I wanted him to take the bowl and join in singing and become super best
He was
friends.
not
too.
going to do that now. No way.
Oh,
that would have been
okay.
so unbelievable.
And then Gaz's heart grows 2 sizes that day.
Yeah. I would have legit been annoyed. If he does that later, sure. If he did that now, I would have been like, bull fucking shit.
Should have just taken the
No
bowl
one-
and kept walking. Like, I'll eat free food, sure, but I'm not hanging out with you guys.
The next morning, 3/4 of the bridgemen wake up with Kaladin when he gets up. The loudest complainers, such as Moash, Sigzil, Narm, and some others, they don't get up. And when Kaladin calls for practice carrying the bridge, most of those that woke up with him join in carrying the bridge. And Moash and the others, Kaladin thinks, they will give in before long. They did eat the stew, and they'll just look out of place if they stay the only ones just refusing to join in with everyone else. Bridge 4 was now Kaladin's. Now all he has to do is keep them alive long enough for that to mean something. And that's the end of that chapter. And one part at the end where Kaladin, when he's looking at the men and he's trying to think, come on, remember what it's like to live and stuff. That reminded me so much of Elantris with when Raoden dropped off all the seed corn and then just went back and just had fire going, just trying to get those. I forgot Sheo. I forgot which warlord it was, but trying to get their crazy men to remember being human and stuff, just from remembering cooking and food and all that.
Mm. Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
to be.
Sheor is the one.
Sheor, that's what it was. Yep, I remember the other two. I just could not remember Sheor because it was Karada and Aondin.
I was just gonna say that that theme of trying to lift the spirits of broken men and stuff seemed to be a favorite theme for him. Brandon Sanderson, I mean.
Yeah, I could see how that's kind of a recurring theme, especially when we're talking about Elantris, because that's kind of a big deal there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
using-
Yeah, because
Oh, go ahead.
see in Elantris, you get a little bit of it in Mistborn and stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely
this
here.
one with Vin, because to kind of fix her a bit with friendship and
Friendship is
Like, I
magic,
thought of-
right? Yeah.
yep.
No,
That
we do
scene-
not need more My Little Pony stuff. We've had too much of that with this book.
Can you ever have too much Twilight Sparkle? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe, have you watched
When-
My Little Pony?
No. Well, I've watched one episode.
It's pretty good, and you have to admit it's a lot like Way of Kings.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, completely. I mean, you haven't seen it, and we have. So, who you gonna go with? It is
Wow.
completely 1-to-1.
See,
Well,
it's times like this that I wish Justin was not cut out because I don't think he'd agree. And he has seen it.
We'll wait till when the book is done, then we can do a complete analysis.
That's going to be a
Yeah.
whole section, your wrap up, how close to My Little
Yeah.
Pony Stormlight Archive is.
Yep.
But when you get to like episode 4 and the bridge runs start, you'll really recognize the similarities.
Yeah, the ponies. Okay, I'm not going to go any further. I'll be done.
This one's kind of an easy one, but this chapter was called Chasm Duty. So why do you think that was chosen for the title of the chapter?
Because it's our intro to the chasm duty. Yeah, I think it might be the most literal.
Yeah. As I said when I started asking you guys about the chapter titles, some of them are just painfully obvious. Some of them take a little bit more thinking. Some of them will be made up words that Brandon Sanderson has done, and you will have no idea what the hell they mean until books later.
These little inside jokes. All right.
Yeah, so I will say, if you ever have a chapter title where you don't know what it means, do not Google it.
Okay.
If it's a word you don't recognize.
But if we're on the Sanderlanche, every time there's a chapter and the title is after is the name of a person, they're like, "Oh, that person's gonna die." Every time, like, "Oh, that's come on, they're gonna die, right?"
All right.
I won't spoil if that's true or false, but that is always the prediction.
I see that sometimes with like One Piece when there's chapter titles with a person's name. Sometimes it means the character's going to die. Sometimes it just means they do something badass. We will move on to the last chapter that we read for this week, which is chapter 28, Decision. An epigraph. For I have never been dedicated to a more important purpose, and the very pillars of the sky will shake with the results of our war here. I ask again, support me. Do not stand aside and let disaster consume more lives. I've never begged you for something before, old friend. I do so now.
For some reason, I imagine Professor Xavier and Magneto talking back and forth.
I could so see that.
You must
So
help
wait.
us, old friend.
Which one is the old reptile?
That's a good question. I have my thoughts.
Old lizard. Well, Magneto's the bad guy, so that's kind of a mean thing to
Well,
say.
who's the bad guy here?
Well, who would be
Okay,
the one?
I'll
'cause
answer if you're
the
not going to
old-
answer, Sheta. I got it. Xavier would be the old lizard because he's the one trying to keep some kind of status quo of some sort or believing that they shouldn't mess things up. Writing would have to be the Magneto because he's the one trying to shake the foundations of the heavens and recreate the world in a way that sounds somewhat dangerous. And you could say that these 17 shards are the X-Men that he's sending after them. So I have a full answer for that very specific question.
Wow. So okay. So have we met the X-Men?
That are the X-Men, those, what was it, 5 guys they were talking to? That would be the question. Mm-hmm.
5 Guys Burgers? What? Yeah.
Yeah, they sure didn't seem like X-Men to me.
Well, they did have nicknames: Grump, Blunt, and Thinker.
Oh,
those could be
my
X-Men
God.
names.
You're right. You're right. They have the guy who's got psychic powers as Thinker. Grump has the ability to make everyone, he can control emotions and make people angry, and Thump has rock powers. Okay, we got it.
Blunt was the other one. But yeah, those are the worst X-Men names ever, but yeah, it totally works.
Oh, there's some stupid X-Men names out there, so I don't know about that.
Wait, what would you say is a stupid X-Men name?
Well, not technically X-Men, but Boom Boom is a pretty blunt one, I'd say. As much as I like the character.
That's totally a name she would pick, though.
I think it makes perfect sense. I just saying there's pretty silly X-Men names out there already.
I mean, isn't there like a maggot?
I believe there is. There's Leech.
Yeah, I think Leech and Toad is kind of in the same vein as these names.
Was
Kinda
Toad
just-
ever an X-Men?
Maggot. Yep, there's a Maggot. Generation X he's from.
Wasn't Boom Boom part of the New Mutants? Weren't they technically X-Men?
I'm not gonna get into what counts as an X-Men and what doesn't. I feel like that could start fights.
Apparently there was an X-Man named Gold Balls. So that may be the
Gold
worst that I've
Balls.
heard.
Yeah.
He was created by Brian Michael Bendis. And he liked the character so much, he brought him into the Miles Morales Spider-Man when Miles Morales joined the 616 universe.
Wait, he came along?
No. He was in the 616 universe. When Miles Morales then joined, all of a sudden, one of his roommates becomes Gold Balls.
Okay.
That was towards the end of Bendis' Marvel run, and at that point, Bendis was mostly garbage.
Question mark?
There were a couple things that were not terrible, not like his DC run where it was all garbage.
Yes.
Okay, but let's get back to Stormlight. So this is another Dalinar and Adolin chapter. So we start off, we're in Adolin's mind, and Adolin and Dalinar are on the staging grounds, and Adolin is worried because his father is looking weathered and fragile. And they are watching as Teleb is testing the strength of the, man-carried bridge that he had built. As one of their chulls with their other bridges is crossing it, they can hear some cracks, and they know that this bridge is not going to hold. Teleb feels like he wasted their time, and Dalinar asks Adolin, what are your thoughts? And Adolin says, well, this is only his first attempt, so we should keep working on it.
Adolin is so worried about his dad looking like weak and sad or whatever, and I'm just like, you just yelled at him about how he's an old man and going crazy, and what did you expect, my dude?
It's interesting too that as soon as he puts those words in, because before he's kind of thought about those things a bit, but not that much. As soon as he articulates it, he's seeing it even more and more too. Like everything his dad does, he's like, his hair's getting gray. He looks really haggard.
Oh, I just think he feels a little bad for being so harsh on him.
Yeah.
It seemed like it came out like with things he thought, but he said he was sorry for how he said it, like, because it was pretty harsh.
I also think the way he sees his dad, even though he's changed, is as this strong, confident person. This idea that he could influence him so much, I think he doesn't like to see it,
Yeah, no one likes that. Like have your idol kind of be disillusioned about him and stuff.
That's a good point, though. If he thinks of him as this guy who is not influenced by what people say, because that's what you were theorizing earlier. It's like he's gone his whole life being like just self-confident, just doing what he does and not thinking about it too much. So yeah, if he pictures Dalinar like that, then he may have thought like yelling at his dad wouldn't accomplish anything because his dad would just ignore it and go on like always. So it might be shocking to be like, oh shit, he listened to the crap that I said? Oh, okay.
Dalinar and Adolin, they go on with their, what they're going to do next. And Dalinar asked Adolin, why are there no shard plates for workers? Why did the Radiants only make weapons? Adolin suggests that perhaps it's because war was the most important thing. Dalinar says that maybe that is the final condemnation of the Radiants and their ideals.
Now, I feel like it should be noted that no one has said you can only use shard plate for fighting. That's just what you use it for. Maybe they were made for workers. You don't know.
I like him saying that, and the reaction is just like, basically, Dad, what the fuck are you talking about? Why the hell would you give a worker shard plate? I mean, I have an answer for that. My answer is, if everyone has shard plate, you're going to have a lot more shard plate wars going on. If it's just kept for the people up top, you're going to be able to keep, people from having like hundreds of pissed off workers rebelling at you in mass in full shard plate.
Let me bring my shard shovel and come and kill the Lord.
Yeah.
All right, so Dalinar and Adolin, they go on to inspect the troops. And Dalinar asks Adolin if he ever feels the thrill. And Adolin's uncomfortable because all Alethi feel it, but they don't like to talk about it.
Man, this thrill is kind of all taboo. Feels like, do you feel it? Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it.
It's really interesting that it's so taboo to talk about because it is so like private and like like the thrill of killing and fighting men and like not this, but borderline getting off on it, like the excitement of it. It's fascinating to me that they're so closed off about a lot of their feelings and stuff that this one where they really come alive has almost a perverse feel to it when he keeps bringing it up with people.
Yeah.
And it's
like,
always
whoa.
capitalized T thrill also.
That's
so that
true,
just, like,
it is.
adds a little something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks
Yeah,
for
I
letting me know. That's weird. It's not just a thrill, it's the thrill.
It's
Yeah.
the thrill. Yeah.
I'm always like in the audiobooks, a lot of times the way Michael Kramer says it, it's like the thrill.
He does.
Does he really,
when he
Sheta?
says it,
Yeah.
I thought he was just having fun.
He's pronouncing it with a capital T.
Okay,
like the
you guys have to tell me, when he is getting dressed, how is Sabaton spelled?
Oh. I
'Cause
like
he's
that Justin turns it around to Sheta. Like, okay, Joe said that he says it like that. Sheta, come on, confirm.
Yeah, I don't trust Joe. I need to hear what
Oh,
Sheta
yeah, he
says. She
does.
just listened to it.
Yeah, he does emphasize certain words. But yeah, he threw a little French accent on Sabaton. So every time.
Sabaton is Sabatons.
Okay. So just the silent S is being like
I
emphasized.
think it may be a French word.
Which is weird because
No.
is there a France?
We already had this
and-
conversation, remember, Sheta?
Did
When
we?
they used some slang word, and I asked Joe if they'd have that, and he says that Brandon Sanderson has answered that everything is translated, so nothing is like a one-to-one of what they're actually saying.
Okay. Easy answer.
Well, maybe
Somebody
I'm thinking
was
it's
like,
that bow.
yo, dog, what's up? And I was like, would they talk like that there? Something like that.
It's the equivalent of yo dog.
Yeah.
Adolin thinks about how women and families are now in the war camps, and he smiles and thinks of Molasha and wonders if she will be the one for him. She has been cold to him lately, though. And there is also Danlin. He's only just met her, but he was intrigued by her.
It's so funny. He wants his dad to get some so badly.
What? He wants who?
Or no, that he wants to get, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted what was said there and read it
Oh, yeah.
wrong.
I like
get to see
Danland. It's just
We get to see
Dan.
from his perspective how he thinks of this. That's really interesting.
He's like, I wonder if she's the one. But I'm already dating somebody else. That would make it hard for her to be the one.
Well, now you're understanding how a guy can be in this predicament he keeps putting himself in.
Options. Must be nice.
And Dalinar
Too
says
many
that
options.
this area has pretty much become a de facto Alethi province. And he wonders, how is this going to be like in 100 years? And he asks Adolin, what will happen to the economy if we just keep collecting gem hearts like we have been? Adolin doesn't know, and Dalinar says that these are things that you need to consider. Adolin thinks about how the battles with the Parshendi go. The Parshendi, they fight in pairs, and their coordination is just fantastic. There are two reliable ways to fight against the Parshendi. One is with Shardblade, and the other is with quick-moving formations. Once Dalinar and Adolin arrive at the battalion, Dalinar has Adolin take the lead and inspect the troops. Afterwards, Dalinar compliments Adolin and says, "You've run well." Then the two of them, they head inside a tent where there are some soldiers. These are the soldiers that Sadeas had questioned before. So they asked them what Sadeas asked them. And the men are like, "Don't worry, we didn't tell Sadeas nothing."
Like, oh God, no. What is this? Oh, these guys were hilarious to me.
These guys, they are soldiers, but also Dalinar's grooms. So Sadeas had asked them about the king's saddle. And they say, "Don't worry, Dalinar, we didn't say anything that would get you in trouble." And Adolin feels like if they act this way with Sadeas, then that's going to be even more incriminating. Dalinar asked them if they saw that the strap was cut, and they said they didn't. And if they had, they would have changed it. But they do say there was a lot of confusion that day with everyone moving around and stuff. And after Dalinar and Adolin, leave the tent, Adolin says, "Yeah, those guys probably did not help our cause very much." And Adolin asks Dalinar, "Why do you keep shoving me in the lead?" And Dalinar says, "I'm trying to make a difficult decision, and it helps me think if I'm moving around while doing it." Adolin asks if he can help with the decision, and Dalinar says, "You already have."
It's fascinating to me. He calls him a crazy old man, and like a little bit later, he starts clearly, obviously thinking about, stepping down and putting his son in charge, and his son can't even seem to fathom that idea. Like, he calls his father that, he's worried about that, but he doesn't actually think that it's so true that he would actually step down.
I think he may be scared that it might be true. He's like, he doesn't even want to think about that.
Yeah.
It could be. From his perspective, I wonder.
He seems to really idolize his dad. So.
Yeah. I wonder what he'll think when his dad, if that even comes to pass, we'll see what happens, but when his dad's does officially step down, how he'll feel and if he'll feel guilty. Because he definitely does not seem like he has any desire to take charge either.
I think he will be horrified.
Yeah.
Because he still thinks of himself as a kid. He's kind of just dating and messing around, not really being serious, when Dalinar's like, "You must find a good wife for when you take over." He's just like, "I'll do that when I'm old," thinking he's still got plenty of time when he doesn't realize it sooner than he wants.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Yelling at your dad about how he's old and he should, move on or whatever.
Yeah.
So do you guys think, the big final ending, of part 2 is at the end of this chapter where Dalinar, the dramatic thing is Dalinar's like, "I'm going to step down." Do you think we're going to have that as a part end and then he might not?
I mean, it didn't happen yet, so...
That depends
True.
if these characters are going to be in part 3. If they're not in part 3, then I think we'll cut back or hear about how he stepped down and then cut back to his son trying to be in charge and things going horribly wrong, probably. Not because of his son, just because of other factors. If I see that they are protagonists in 3, then I'll think, no, it's not going to happen. Or POV characters, I mean.
Right, yeah, because it says at the beginning of the part. Sure, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I could peek ahead and see. Maybe I will at the end of the chapter.
Cheater.
Well, I'll say it at the end so that way you can get your guys' live reactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Don't look.
I like that Dalinar's personal guard is called the Cobalt Guard. It's a cool name.
Everything about the Alethi is badass. That doesn't mean I like them.
It's super badass.
Apparently their uniforms are a slightly different shade of blue. And I've seen some cosplayers get really into the weeds on what color blue is Cobalt Guard versus the regular Dalinar soldiers blue. They're going to Dragonsteel. It's like, can you give us color palette things here so we can figure this out for our cosplay?
It's
That's
like, I'm
so
not
funny.
a fucking
Cobalt is a
painter.
very
I'm a writer.
Yep.
And when I think Cobalt, I would just assume it's Halo color Cobalt, so church color. Because that's Cobalt in the Halo games. So I always just figured normal blue would be the Kholin color, Cobalt Guards, whereas that lightish bluish
Well,
color.
Sheta,
Cobalt is slightly warmer than most blues, so I think they must be pretty crazy about color theory over there. They're like...
Right, and a messenger from High Prince Thanadal's camp arrives, And Adolin says Dalinar has a meeting with Thanadal that evening. The messenger says that Thanadal regrets that he is unable to attend to him and he has grown too busy. But he does offer to speak with Dalinar at one of the king's feasts. But Adolin knows, yeah, but then we can't talk because people would be able to eavesdrop if it's at the king's feast. Dalinar asks, well, when is Thanadal no longer busy? The messenger says that Thanadal, if you press me, he told me to tell you that he knows what you will talk about, and he does not want to ally or try a joint plateau assault.
I think it's so funny to send a messenger and try to be cordially polite, but also, no, he's going to keep asking. So if he does, here's the real answer. Just give it to him. That's such a weird thing to do instead of just being more upfront from the start. It's very political.
We hear like Dalinar saying like, yep, like saying some of the other ones to turn him down. One head is like, wife tell Dalinar.
Oh, God.
That's awkward. My husband does not want to see you. Aw.
I'm not letting him hang out with you anymore.
Yeah.
You're a bad influence on him.
After the messenger leaves, Dalinar says that was the last one, and now all the High Princes have turned him down. Well, technically, he has not asked Sadeas, but Dalinar is just not going to do that.
I'm calling
Dalinar
it.
says
Sadeas is going to be the one who says yes. He's like,
Of course
bro,
he
I've
is.
been waiting for this moment all this time.
He loves him.
You think he loves him?
See, the ship got in there, and it's been
What?
It's been marinating.
They're
this whole
old
time.
friends. They're old friends.
Dalinar says that I have failed, and Elhokar was right. He asks Adolin to continue with the rest of the inspections, because Dalinar has something that he wants to do.
Okay, so Elhokar was right that no one was going to listen to Dalinar about this war stuff. Do we feel like that is a plus in like, hey, Elhokar got some wise king business in there, or is this more like a broken clock is right twice a day?
My thought is that Dalinar was right that they weren't going to follow this, but if Dalinar had given him the role that he was asking for and listened to his, advice on this stuff, then people would have been obligated to answer or to follow. I'm so bad with all these yada yars. The king, I think he's a bad king. He's not a complete fucking moron, though. He knows his own people's culture. He knows they're not going to want to follow this weak old man who's scared of battle into battle and like abandon, just the way things have been going. That's been working just fine for them. He's worried that they need to unify for some kind of vague future threat, but none of them are worried about that. So I don't give him points for being right.
I thought it was more like this whole thing with them saying no to him was like a Mean Girls move where they were all like not wanting to be seen as friends with him because they all kind of agreed he's out of favor. And
yeah. And the king
So-
knew that when he told him to
no,
do
the
this.
king could have given
No.
him that favor. No,
Well, yeah, by saying you have to do this, then they would have been obligated to follow, right?
yeah.
So which high prince is Lindsay Lohan in this Mean Girl scenario?
Oh, that's definitely that's Dalinar.
Oh, fair. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then let's see, Sadeas is Regina, of course. Yep, I like this.
What about
I'm
Gretchen?
not going to know enough of their names to be able to follow this.
Well, Aladar has got to be one of them.
There's no dinosaur in Mean Girls. That's just silly.
But I
We'll say that Sabariel will be one of the mean girls.
Have we met a Sabariel?
We
Yeah,
saw
who-
the name in the list of the war camps.
Well, they
Okay.
gotta have done something. I liked Aladar because he was like the weakest one, so he's gonna be.
No, that was Royan.
Oh, Royan. Yeah, Royan will be like.
Yep.
What's her name?
What's her name? Best Mean Girl of them all.
Amanda
I don't know.
Seyfried?
Yeah, just because she's the most influential and kind of maybe the weakest one. Okay.
My favorite
What
is
are
Lacey
you
Chabert.
What's that?
My favorite of the Mean Girls is Lacey Chabert. I think that's how you say her name. She was from.
Oh yeah. From all the Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
That's
She's
not
the
what
one
I was
that's trying
thinking
to
of,
make
but it's
fetch
true.
happen.
She, I remember her as a kid from the Lost in Space movie that they did. She played like the girl in that.
I never actually watched that movie. I only ever saw the trailers.
That's probably enough.
oh, shoot,
I mean, you got like
Well,
Gary
put it
Oldman,
on your
which
list.
is worthwhile, But other than that, and I guess Matt
Gary
LeBlanc is in
Oldman
there.
was in Mean Girls?
No,
Man, Gary Oldman's in everything.
Damn it.
he isn't everything. He could have been a mean girl. I've seen that man play some amazing roles.
He was one of the Mean Girls? Jesus. He's a
That would be
chameleon.
crazy.
Now I feel really awkward about how I watched that Santa scene with him there.
It was good. Disappeared right into the role as usual.
I guess so.
You know, he's done good roles, but it's not always good. He was in the movie Tiptoes.
It was a role of a lifetime, Joe. They said it in the trailer.
If anybody has never seen Tiptoes or seen the trailer, just look up the trailer. The trailer looks like just look it up, Tiptoes trailer. You'll watch it. It feels like it's a parody trailer that like College Humor made.
Do you want to watch Gary Oldman play
spoil it,
someone
Justin.
with... No, you should know this going in. Play somebody who has dwarfism. Do you want to watch that?
Interesting.
In a movie
approach.
that has a younger Peter Dinklage in the movie. Do you want to watch this?
But wait, is Peter Dinklage really tall? 'Cause
No,
that would be a weird. Okay.
He's just another guy who has the same thing in the movie,
Okay,
but they cast
fair.
Gary Oldman to play him. Oh man!
It has like
To be fair, at the
Matthew
time, he was
Broderick.
better well known than
Like just
Peter
Gary
Dinklage.
Oldman walking around on his fucking knees pretending he's short. That's basically the movie.
like I
I mean,
said,
you
the
should describe the Lord of the Rings movies, honestly.
yeah, but they're playing a different race of people.
It's
this
completely
movie-
different.
Like I said, you'll watch the trailer and it feels like a fake trailer. You'll think there is no way this is a real movie. Then you find out that it's a real movie. I've never seen the actual movie, but the trailer is one of the funniest 2 minutes you'll ever see.
We should watch that next time.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey. This must be a winner.
All right, enough about little person Gary Oldman. Let's get back to Dalinar. Yeah, so at this point, we jump into Dalinar's head, and he is considering whether or not to abdicate. And Dalinar thinks of a passage from the Way of Kings that says that a monarch is control, and if he cannot control himself, then how can he control the lives of those that he leads? Dalinar has his men go fetch him his warhammer. He takes the warhammer and he goes to this area where some men are digging a latrine. He tells them to step aside because he is taking over.
Take a break, boys.
So Dalinar, in his shard plate, goes into the latrine and starts smashing the stone with the hammer.
You know, Joe, the way you worded that, Dalinar with his shard plate goes into a latrine and starts smashing the stone. Sound up than what this scene is. Like, you guys take a break. I can't wait. I can't wait for this to be built.
And we also learn what they do with the latrine is like they'll build the
I love the
latrine,
description.
everyone will use it, and then eventually they'll just soul cast all the waste into smoke.
I loved that description. I'm
But-
thinking so impressed with that detail.
Well, yeah. Figure that
It's
out.
funny.
That would be nice.
You can soul cast anything into anything else, right? But they don't soul cast the latrine stuff into food. They make them go out and pick up rocks to turn into food.
I don't want to
to
eat.
I'm not eating
I
that
don't want to
food.
eat somebody's excrement. I don't care how safe it is.
Well, just
I
the
would
thought
rather
of
eat
it.
a rock.
Right.
What if they changed into rocks first and then they changed the rocks into food?
That
No.
you could win me over if I'm hungry enough on that one.
I mean, this is how like Star Trek replicators and stuff work, y'all. You know, it's
Oh
all
God,
atoms.
no!
So
Oh my god. Nope.
Don't
I'm all
even
about
don't
the
even get
mind.
into how they recycle their excrement in Star Trek. I'm sure it's something like that.
And as he's smashing the stone, he thinks that shard plate. could
you're
be
right.
used for-
Smashing the stone really doesn't sound good now that you've said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
Crushing. Wait, no.
All
Never
right.
mind.
As Dalinar is working on building the latrine, he thinks about how shard plate could be used for so many things to make life easier for normal workers. And Dalinar's thinking about how he's losing his thirst for battle and that killing makes him feel sick now. What would happen the next time he went into battle? He can't lead like this, so that is a reason towards abdicating in favor of Adolin. But then he does think about the codes and that someone had to start and be the model for everyone else to follow. And so this was a reason for him not to abdicate. Dalinar, he's not a philosopher or an idealist. In his earlier years, he was a tyrant and a warmonger, Could spending his twilight years pretending to follow the precepts of better men really erase a lifetime of butchery? And people are staring at Dalinar while he's working, so Taleb gets them all to leave. That way they're not just watching Dalinar do this. And Dalinar knows that once he finishes this latrine, then he will come to his decision on his abdication. And he had no reason to believe the visions, and his reputation was on the brink of ruin. He was in danger of dragging down the entire Kholin house. If he continued, then his actions could lead to the deaths of Adolin, Renarin, and Elhokar. And then a woman's voice asked him, wouldn't the blade be more efficient? Dalinar looks up and sees that Navani is standing there watching him. And he tells her that shard blades are too good at cutting. They cut too fine, so you can't really pick up the stone, so it's better to break up the rocks. And Dalinar continues working, and he finds it easier to speak to Navani like this. Navani asks if he's going to apologize for missing their appointment. He looks at her and says, yeah, I'm sorry, and I had some difficult things to consider. She says that she will think of a way for him to make up for his lapse. She also tells him that one of his span reeds are flashing, the one that is connected to her daughter. Dalinar's excited about this because it has been weeks since he has last spoken with Jasnah. If she was sending for him now, then she likely has discovered something. So Dalinar gets out of where he was digging the latrine, and he heads off to go speak with Jasnah. And Navani says that it has been months since she has spoken with Jasnah, so she will join Dalinar. As they are on their way, Navani says that Dalinar is a good man. He says that his honor makes him easy to manipulate, and he tells Navani that there's no need to toy with him. She tells him that she may be taking advantage of him, a little bit, but she is not toying with him. She says that in the last year, Dalinar has begun to be the person others claim that they are. She asks Dalinar if he knows why she chose Gavilar over him all those years ago. It was not because he was going to become king, even though that's what everyone thinks. It was because Dalinar frightened her, and his intensity frightened Gavilar as well. She can see that that intensity is still in Dalinar, but he has it under wraps now. Dalinar says that, this would not work, and I will not dishonor my brother's memory. But she doesn't say anything about this, but she does eye him slyly.
When it's like, This will not work, and I will not dishonor my brother's memory. And she's kind of like, that's not a no.
Yeah, so you have thought about it.
Mm-hmm. You reveal more than you realize, basically.
I know.
It's pretty deeply messed up to be like, hey, I know you were into me all that time ago. Do you want me to tell you why I picked your brother over you?
He did not want to hear that answer at all.
Oh,
but then she gives him an answer like, you were too ferocious. Like, it's so weird.
You frightened me.
Yeah, you frightened me.
I don't know. I think it shows that Navani, everyone, they're just saying, she chose him because he was going to become a king. But it was more like, no, she had actual reason.
But I wouldn't want to hear it. I'd be like, that ship has sailed, lady. I don't want to hear about it. Any answer is just going to make me unhappy.
Yeah, what's a good answer there to why I hooked up with your brother instead of you? There is no.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a sore spot for me.
Yeah, kind of a sore spot.
Yeah.
And they arrive at Dalinar's complex, and Adolin is there. He asks, Adolin, why are you here? You should be out inspecting the troops. Adolin says that he finished that hours ago. And Dalinar wonders how long he spent working on that latrine.
Yeah, how long have I been smashing the rock, man? Jeez.
Yeah, smashing rocks for hours.
Ooh,
You lose track of time sometimes.
Yeah.
And without Adolin and gone to do all the inspections and everything like that, Dalinar thinks Adolin will make a fine high prince. And then Adolin introduces Dalinar to Danlin Morakotha. She has just arrived in the war camps yesterday and has been calling on Adolin, so he got her a position among Dalinar's clerks.
Oh, God. I'm glad in 2 seconds he's like, this bitch could be a spy. What are you doing? That would worry me a lot more. The second I saw that, I'd be like, dude, you cannot, I can't put you guys in charge. You guys don't know what you're doing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got into town and started immediately calling on Adolin, one of the most powerful bachelors in the camps. It's a little bit shady.
So damn suspicious.
Yeah, you need someone to filter out your groupies for you. You can't just let everyone in.
Isn't that shady? She shows up and she goes after the hottest guy.
Yeah,
It's
but-
shady when she's then handed a position where she gets to hear some of the most powerful people around have their private conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dad, I met her
Oh.
yesterday. Can she listen into your most private conversations, please?
Yeah, exactly. This to me is a big no-no on abdicating and putting him in charge.
Yeah, he's too easy.
Mm-hmm. He's a sucker for pretty eyes, it seems.
Yeah, that's the weak link.
And Dalinar asks about Malasha, and Adolin says, that didn't work out. Which, I find that line hilarious, because earlier in this very chapter, which would just be a few hours ago, Adolin was wondering if Malasha was going to be the one.
And then I'm going to ask, what state secrets did she learn and bring with her when she left?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're just milking him. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
this
being
guy's
honeypotted
easy
5
mark.
times a day.
Yeah.
Forgot the name of the first one, but I know it went like, you had the first girl, then it went Yanala, Malasha, now Danlin.
At the end of this, we got to see how many letters of the alphabet he worked through on first names.
We'll have our Adolin bingo card.
Hmm.
Dalinar says that Adolin eventually will need to choose just one woman to court. And Dalinar thinks about how, he himself had courted his wife for 3 years, even if he now remembers none of that. And he figures, with that, I must have loved her.
That's so sad.
Like, how
He
much
does
incidental
remember-
stuff would you have to forget over, like, the course of 3 years? All the time you spent with this person who you were courting? That must be a lot of time.
Yeah.
I need to know this mystery the most. What happened to Dalinar's wife's memories?
Maybe she actually hated her more, and so he put a spell on himself.
Like, you just make me forget that bitch. I don't want to remember. Like,
Or maybe he was married
wonder-
to his brother's wife for years, and they wiped his memory for political reasons.
I
But
feel
everyone
like
else
that sort of thing, everyone else would know that.
They do. They just keep quiet about it.
His wife got turned into a spren, and we're going to find out her name was Silfrena.
Yep, that's it. Uh-oh. We
Awkward.
got a love triangle forming.
And Dalinar, he does remember how much he desired Navani, though. But that was years before he ever met his wife.
That's not fair.
It's
What's
not fair
not
that,
fair?
like, he has memories of her that gives her an unfair advantage.
It's not fair that his memories of his wife are gone, but so that making the way for this lady, like if he still had the memories, he'd be like, "No, I loved my wife, and I'll only love
You're
her."
saying
so.
she wiped his memories in a long-term plan to score when her husband died? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
That's
that's
some voodoo there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
pretty fiendish. But yeah,
Thaddeus was his wife. That's the tension, is, like, their exes.
Oh my god. It's all lining up. I get enough of that kind of stuff from Sheta every week. I don't need more.
say
of
I didn't
it.
come up with this.
All right, and so Danlin sets up the span reed that's connected to Jasnah. And now span reeds, they're kind of like magic medieval fax machines. Because
Yeah, I was surprised
Yep.
by how this worked. I thought it was going to be a lot more mystical when they were describing it, and then it's just exactly what you described, basically.
pretty much it's just like a quill, like a reed with a gem on top, and that's connected to another one somewhere else. You set up in the corner of this like flat, piece of paper and everything, and then when the other person starts writing with it, it starts writing that same thing on the paper that you have.
My name is Harry Potter. I kept thinking
Honestly,
of that, but it's not the same.
If there's no lag, this is kind of like this is like quantum entanglement. Like if you've ever read Ender's Game, like the Ansible, which is
Is
on
there
some level
lag
the
is a
same
good
thing.
question. Yeah.
It's
Now I'm
said
wondering.
though that
Well, yeah,
I like
yeah.
the
With
things
the
that were
drawing,
different.
they said, the drawing wasn't perfect because even like the ink would run out at different times and stuff.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
that's not lag. That's what I want to know about. That's a really interesting question.
this could be like faster than light communication. Like this is a big deal.
I'm very curious.
Simultaneous, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I don't think we'll ever get an answer.
We can ask Brandon when we see him.
No, I'm using my question for whatever stupid thing I said earlier that I forgot or one of us said.
Does Jules fuck that's my.
That was not fucking it. Not mine.
How long were Dalinar and Sadeas married before he lost his memories? That's the real important question.
He'll just get a raffle.
He'll just look at you and then say, "Escort this man from the place."
Wouldn't be the first time.
All right, so
Self-proclaimed
they begin their
expert
conversation.
gets escorted out.
If you're not getting escorted out of some places, you're not doing your job. Come on.
All right, so they begin their conversation with Jasnah, and Dalinar gives Jasnah a coded greeting that lets her know that he doesn't know and trust everyone that's in the room right now, so that way she doesn't say anything that's too, confidential.
See, this is the kind of sense you need. That other girl should not even be in the room, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Navani's here. Navani can read and write. She could do this. Do we trust her? Actually, maybe that's a question.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I did like how the voice acting was done for that girl. She sounded really hot.
Did she?
Yeah,
She sounded
okay.
really breathy and hot.
Interesting.
It was funny.
I would
was
have
gonna
to
ask
hear.
what does hot
judge.
sound like? But yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, her voice was described, but she'd be like, like Jessica Rabbit.
Sheta, you're sounding like Trainer in Mass Effect 3. Just got that huge crush on Edie's voice.
Oh, this is a man doing the voice, so
Even better.
I'm confused.
This man sounds like a hot woman. I'm very confused
Yeah,
about my
I
sexuality
have
right
to
now.
hear this now. Yeah, that's so funny.
Okay, Sheta, can you do an impression for us of a man sounding like a hot woman?
Yes,
No.
please.
I
I
cannot.
need to hear. You
Oh.
definitely can. I know you can.
He would just be like, okay, tell my mother that I am happy that she's here and I hope she's doing well. Like that. So like a
What, a little
cartoon,
huskier?
yeah, cartoon girl voice done lower. So it's still a little high for the guy, but it was really good.
I think that was well done, Sheta. Thank you.
So Jasnah tells Dalinar that she has made her way to Cabranth, and the secrets that she seeks are too obscure to be contained even in the Palaneum, but she is finding hints. She asks how Elhokar is doing, and Dalinar tells her that he could use her counsel, hoping that he could convince Jasnah to return. He also adds that, and your mother has arrived in the Shattered Plains as well. She says to send her mother her respect, and to keep her at arm's length. She bites.
She
Awkward.
bites.
When Dalinar realizes, oh shit, I did not tell Jasnah that Navani was in the room as well.
It
I feel like Yasna might have just said the same thing.
wasn't too mean.
He asks when Jasnah is returning. She cannot say because she dare not stop her research, but a time may come soon where she dare not stay away.
She's so dramatic. Dare not.
I want to put that in my normal vocab. I dare not come over for lunch. For have to
I
do
dare
laundry.
not. I will miss my show that's on.
You can also say daren't, the conjunction version. Yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty badass too.
Jasnah asks Dalinar to describe what happened when he first met the Parshendi 7 years ago. This was painful for Dalinar because if they had never gone on the expedition and met the Parshendi, then Gavilar would never have been killed by them.
All kinds
When they were
of bad
younger-
memories being brought up for Dalinar today.
Yeah, he's having a bad day, huh?
Come on.
Spent 4 hours in the bathroom, reminded of his fucking unhappy
Unrequited
love
love.
life.
Yeah. Worst memories of his life coming back.
Brother dying, all this shit.
When they were younger, Gavilar was thrilled by conquest and hunting. But Gavilar had been acting oddly and losing his thirst for battle, so Dalinar suggested that they go on a hunt. And they were out exploring a forest that was not on the maps. Dalinar wasn't with Gavilar when he first came along the Parshendi camps, and he could not believe it at first. Parshmen had always been servants, and Gavilar did not believe it either when Dalinar told him. Jasnah asked if they had shard blades then, and Dalinar says no. She asked when he first saw a Parshendi shard bearer, and he says that it was after Gavilar's death. But then Dalinar makes a connection. He had always wondered why Gavilar wanted a treaty with the Parshendi, and he wonders if his brother knew that they had shard blades. Was he hoping to get more of the weapons from the treaty? Jasnah says that the Parshendi had learned their language very quickly, and she asked what the first things they spoke to him about. And Dalinar says that, first they wanted to see their maps. Jasnah asks if they had mentioned the Voidbringers, and Dalinar responds no. He asks why, and Jasnah says that she'd rather not say now. And then she says that she has something to show them, so they put a clean sheet of paper down, and then a picture is drawn on it. And Dalinar knows that this is not Jasnah's drawing, because it is a lot more of a skilled drawing than Jasnah could make.
Jeez, what a burn.
It's not a burn. It's just a really good drawing.
And Jasnah made it clear that she didn't put much stock in like drawing skills.
That's true.
So that could mean she
Drawing-
hasn't practiced it. Maybe she sucks at it, and that's why she's like, "Oh, well, that skill's useless."
Yeah, very likely.
Yep, and the drawing, it looks like a giant chasm fiend, and pretty much that image I showed you guys last week, Justin probably saw it this week when he was reading of that big kaiju battle.
Why'd they move it? This seems
there.
like such a sensible place to put it, but you said they moved it to earlier in the book in newer editions, or was it the opposite?
No,
way?
the hardcover has it a little bit earlier, so it'd be like the later paperback that moved it to later.
I think that's such a weird. Putting it earlier would be so weird to me.
Jasnah says that this image is from a book here, and that the drawing here was made from her new ward. And Dalinar's like, she has a new ward? She hasn't had one of those in years. And she says that in the book that they had found this image in, it called it a Voidbringer. But she doesn't think that's what it actually is. This illustration is copied from another book, and that's come from other stuff, and some think that the drawing originally came from a time that was only 2 or 3 generations after the heralds had departed. She believes the artist didn't know what a Voidbringer was, so they just drew the most horrific thing that they knew of.
That's an interesting theory. It's got to be frustrating to live in a time where all illustrations in books were jotted down by somebody else later on, too. That would drive me nuts. Because, the text, you're going to have minor differences in how it's worded and stuff, I'm sure. But in art that was copied by somebody, it's going to legit look different. There's no way for it not to. That would drive me insane.
Jasnah says that she has to leave, and she asks Dalinar to care for her brother. Dalinar tells her that things are difficult here, and she may soon hear news that will shock her, so he asks her to return. She says that she needs to complete her research first. She is coming, though, but she just cannot say when she is. And when she does come to the Shattered Plains, she wants to see a chasm fiend for herself. Dalinar says that he'll let her see a dead one. After the conversation is finished, Dalinar stays while the others leave, and he realizes that he has made his decision. He stopped thinking of the abdication as if, and instead thought of it as when. Navani has not left the tent, and she says that he is fond of Jasnah. He tells her that it's inappropriate for the two of them to be alone, so he moves to a part of the tent so that way people can, or maybe not a tent, a room. So he moves to a part where where some of his guards can still see him from outside. Navani asked why he trusts her daughter while others almost universally revile her. He tells her that rather than compromise for the sake of appearance, Jasnah was honest and refused to make professions she did not believe. Navani says that, Jasnah and Dalinar are similar. Dalinar tells Navani that she should leave and that people will talk. She says to let them talk. And she also tells Dalinar that he's the most important High Prince, and he interrupts her and tells her that he is going to abdicate. It will be a few days at the most for him to make the arrangements. Navani tells him that this is a terrible mistake. He tells her that it is his to make and for her to leave. After she leaves, Dalinar thinks that he has made his decision. He sinks down to the floor. He would tell Adolin in the morning and announce it at a feast within the week. Then he will leave back to Alethkar. It was over. And that's the end of part 2.
Not where I thought it would end up.
Yeah, a lot of the parts get a very dramatic, sting ending, and I feel like this one's kind of oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part 1 ended on a more of an up note with Kaladin finally being like, all right, I'm going to save everyone.
That's true, but I feel like there's a more It is up, and I feel like it has more motion feel to it, where he's like, I'm gonna find a way to protect them. Like it feels very empowering, whereas this is not that.
We've followed like how many chapters of this guy being like, these visions are important, I must follow them. And then at the end it's, yeah, I guess I give up. Everyone thinks I should give up. I guess I'm going crazy. I should give up. That is
realistically
a very dour place to go to.
If you're hearing voices, probably generally that would be the way to go, is to
Hey man, that's
let me
only if you're
relinquish my
crazy.
power.
He's sane. So
He's the sanest one.
he's the only sane one here.
But he doesn't want to kill people. Like, what kind of nut job?
Yeah, that's true. Get him out. Fucking psycho weirdo.
For a soldier, that's not very useful. But
Well, I think it's interesting. He's like, I'm going to get people killed. If I can't even fight anymore, like, what am I even doing here?
yeah, I like him thinking about how his brother was doing the same thing, and look where that got him,
Mhm.
And he's kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't want my sons going that way and stuff like that,
And he is trusting Saladin. Saladin says, you're getting old and crazy.
Kaladin,
you
who the
weird.
fuck's Kaladin?
What did I
Who's
say?
Saladin?
Saladin. God damn it. Sadius.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
Saladin. Whatever the fuck that was.
That character's coming in the next part.
Yeah, maybe. We'll
I
see.
mean, that's actual history, is where Saladin is from. So
Is it?
yeah, like
Yep.
Crusades era.
Oh, real
my
life.
God.
Then I definitely likely did not have that one in
No,
mind.
Saladin was
Oh,
Sadius and
I was just gonna say-
Dalinar's son. Like,
Sadius and Kaladin were just going to do the fusion dance.
Oh, God, no. No, please, no.
Anything else from this chapter anyone wants to go over?
I think he's going to regret this hard.
I think now that you guys have gotten to the end of the letter epigraphs, which are some of my favorite epigraphs in the book, I think. you
Oh,
should
man, that's the end of them? I'm so
read them
sad
all
to
in a
hear
row.
that. Yeah, I loved them. I definitely will. See what I can glean from them. Because there
Yep,
was some
that's
really
your
interesting
job.
stuff said at the end there.
Yep.
I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that I wasn't going to keep
I mean, they
reading them
changed from
very epically.
Mhm.
And Stormlight, each part
Yeah.
changes the epigraphs. Well then, let's move over to our theories and predictions segment with just a couple questions for you. I think anything I ask would likely just
It's your
come in
only
with
job.
Yeah, but I think
You haven't done
anything I
anything the
ask-
whole episode. This is your one job.
With this, with it being the end of the part, anything I ask will probably just be covered in your broad theories, anyways.
Well, if it is, we'll just go into them a little deeper.
Are you asking us that after, or
All right. Well, with the bridge crew, with Bridge 4, so he's got most of the people to come over to his side, and he thinks the others like Moash and Sigil and Narm will. But will they come over to Kaladin's side, or would like those people stay against him?
At least one will stay against them because he knows that if he opens his heart up to hope, it's going to be too much for him when people die or when things are hopeless. And the other ones will all go towards him, but he won't. He'll refuse it and he'll betray them in some way. That's my expectation.
he's gonna get killed because he didn't train with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he'll say, "I should have trained with you. I just didn't have any hope," and then he dies.
And then he dies. How dramatic.
Be a great motivator for everyone else. Be like, if
Yeah.
only I had trained. Oh,
His last
Okay.
words were, he just
Yeah.
lies to him.
I better double my training.
train with some weights on,
Mhm.
Maybe
Put some weights on that log.
get a gravity enhancing machine.
That'd work, yeah.
Right,
Before
and
you
then,
know it, you're Super Saiyan.
Exactly.
That would be a useful thing to have happen, that's for sure.
Super Saiyan Kaladin? Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the gravity enhancer is not why Goku became a Super Saiyan. Or
That was part of
Vegeta.
Vegeta's trading. It helps.
Contributing factor, I feel like. Come on.
I guess it could contribute to Vegeta because it made him realize that he could never be better than Goku. And that's what caused him to get so full of rage to transform. Okay, now, why was Jasnah, asking about, like, the Parshendi and, showing this picture of this chasm fiend and talking about the Voidbringers and all that? What is she researching?
She's researching what I'm researching. What can we learn about the Parshendi to end this war?
You think she's doing it to end the war?
Yeah, I think she's asking the questions that we are about, like, what do we know about them? Why are we fighting them? Or like, and that the aspect of going against the more popular religion is what I feel too, which is, why do we believe this? And there are clues in the past telling us what the true religion is, and the Parshendi are part of it. So yeah, she's trying to figure out what the true religion is, simultaneously like kind of figuring out what's going on with the world. That's what I think.
I think she stumbled onto some like end of the world doomsday scenario that is in those ancient texts, like you're saying, or in those ancient ways, that does touch upon what the Parshendi are and where they come from, as well as what their beliefs and motivations are. Like maybe they're fighting this war, because they know something more than we do about the value of shard plate and the what are the gems called that they get out of the chasm fiends?
Gem
Those
hearts.
things. Yeah, the gem hearts. Knows more about that stuff, what the Voidbringer is. Like, I think they know a lot, that they're not
We are the
they're not
key.
telling us. And she's stumbling onto that I don't think they're going to be good guys, even though I'm saying it's interesting that they're so dehumanized and they're not even thinking about why they're that way. I think they're still going to be
Good is relative.
not villains, but I think they're going to be part of how the world's ending. I think they're going to be antagonists to our people.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think she's just specifically learning about this Voidbringer and what it is.
Ooh, I've got a theory on this one. Can I do theories after you guys? I never get to do theories.
Yeah, I was going to ask your theory. Having read the book, what's your theory?
Yeah, go ahead. Have fun.
No, yeah, this is great. You guys can walk through the logic with me and see if it makes any sense, because I know Justin hates it when there's no support for the theories. So
There's support. You just have to imagine it.
if you can imagine it,
Not
you can
how
make
support
it.
works.
Okay, so do you think that Jasnah is the kind of person who's going to call up and just to be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
No, 100% no.
Okay, so her call had a point. So what was the point? Well, she asked a couple of different questions. The first thing she was talking about was, tell me again about when you first met the Parshendi. Now, do we think that Jasnah is the kind of person who forgets important previous conversations that she had with people?
I would hope not. I would be
So-
surprised if she were.
Maybe that is a smokescreen, because we also know that Dalinar gave her the code. Hey, there's people around that I don't trust. So maybe Jasnah can't reveal the actual reason that she's calling.
I would agree with that.
So what else does she say? If we assume that, like, hey, what did the Parshendi ask you? This conversation you've already told me about. If we assume that none of that is relevant to what's actually going on, only a couple of new things came out of this. The biggest one, I think, being, here's this picture that I found in an old book. I think that is possibly the only significant new thing that was brought to the table during the discussion. All right, so table that for 1 second. Now, we go back to the very beginning of this book, the prelude to the Stormlight Archive. And if you will recall, Kalak is walking through the remnants of a giant battle. And there's a part where it says, many of the bodies around him were human, many were not. Blood mixed, red, orange, violet. In the section that we read, we learned someone has orange blood.
Mm-hmm.
We also learned that someone has violet blood. Do you remember that part?
I don't. Do you, Sheta?
No.
So when Adolin goes and starts chopping the gem heart out of the chasm fiend thing that they found on the platform or on the plateau after they win their battle, it's filled
they
with
had
violet
blood.
ichor.
I see.
Yes. So whatever the giant battle was, I mean, okay, so it's possible that Parshendi aren't the only things with orange blood. It's possible chasm fiends aren't the only things with purple blood. But let's Occam's razor it. Whatever the giant battle is, humans have red blood, Parshendi have orange blood, chasm fiends have purple blood. They were all involved. So that begs the question of, like, how many sides were there in this fight? Are there 3 different sides? Were they each fighting on a different side? It doesn't seem, from what we know of chasm fiends, like they can make alliances with people. the Parshendi and the humans can make alliances. They had a treaty, although then the Parshendi betrayed it and murdered the king. It's kind of beside the point. So we also found out that the Parshendi have weapons more advanced than it looks like they should be able to make, with pictures of like heralds on them. So were the Parshendi and the humans aligned, fighting an invasion of giant crab monsters? Jasnah sends this thing. She's like, hey, I found this ancient book that says this is a Voidbringer. But of course, no, I don't really think it's that. That's just a little fun fact that I thought that I'd have my my ward show you guys for no particular reason. So maybe this is the hidden message. This ancient battle was fought against these giant monstrous creatures that we didn't know existed until recently. And now you guys are out there on the Shattered Plains. She even says, like, there may be a point where I can't, like, it becomes too urgent. I can't not come back to you guys on the Shattered Plains. So maybe it's a mistake to go around murdering a bunch of these monsters that could be the horrible ancient Voidbringer enemy that everyone is scared of.
Sheta, aren't you pretty convinced there is a faction of crab people? I remember you talking about that in the past.
Yeah, I am.
Remind me why you felt that way.
Crab people.
You just said I am.
Well, I didn't say crab people.
You said I am. Wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about?
No, not crab people, but just what the Parshendi actually are, which actually is
you
one of
thought
my
the
theories.
Parshendi are crab people.
Yeah, they're not crab people. They're Atlanteans. Okay, their city would have been underwater back in the day.
Yeah,
And
because you
that's
believe
why.
everything is from the ocean drying up and going into the sky. So you're
Yeah, just because of all the
extrapolating on
crab
that.
stuff. Yeah, that's why they have crab shells, and they're extra strong because of the weight of the water, just like Atlanteans. And then my last real clue is that they sung when they fought, like sirens or whales.
Whales, I think, is better than sirens.
No, I love the dichotomy. Sirens or whales, either way.
Yeah, whatever your
They're very
spirit-
similar.
Yeah. If rock is from the mountains, like from a mountain people, then why would there not be some ocean people?
Why would there, I think, is the question. Though I do agree with your thing of that there's mountain people in the real world, but there are not ocean people we're aware of. So even though I think that's all, I'm agreeable with that, I don't follow the logic of it.
Maybe that just means you should apply her logic to the real world. Why not?
Well,
Ocean
we haven't
people.
discovered them. If there are, I will be very impressed if we find them soon, and I will apologize, Sheta.
Well, the thing with that is there aren't people living up in the highest mountains, you know.
Is
too
rock
high.
from the highest mountain?
Well, he says it's hard to breathe up there, you know.
No,
He did say
no,
that.
he says it's fine to breathe through
Okay,
there.
he
He
says
says
it
that
would
everyone
be hard.
else just breathes too thick of air.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, too much air makes you airsick. What can you do?
mm-hmm. That's why I hold my breath.
Good practice. Just a little
just
bit
for
every day.
fun.
Data, do you have any other questions you want to ask them?
You know what? I do. So you guys have read several Sanderson books at this point, and a frequently recurring element is what we like to call in the Sanderlanche the secret bad guy. You've got like Orsor / Tensoon. You've got, the King in Elantris is kinda, but
Well, serial killer didn't.
yeah, I mean,
Which
yeah.
Justin called. He called that early on that the king was a serial killer.
That's crazy.
White Sand had at least 2 secret bad guys. For
but
some
they
reason,
sucked.
they did suck. So, if there's someone hanging around among our crew, around our main characters, who might qualify as for a potential future secret bad guy, who do you think is on that list?
I don't know if this
On-
counts as secret, but I think the king's insane. I think he's just mad and he's hiding it very well. Crazed with the Mad King type trope. He's just paranoidly crazy. He's been turned against his own uncle
Whoa.
and stuff. I've said this in the past.
I didn't catch it then, because
Oh yeah, no, I think he's insane because you have that part where you have both Adolin and Dalinar Dalinar? That seems whatever.
Alan.
Look in his eyes. Yeah, Dalinar. And Adolin sees, and he's like, he saw a hint of suspicion in his eyes, but then it passed. Whatever it was, he hid it well, is how Adolin thinks about it. Dalinar sees, and he says, he saw a hint of suspicion, but whatever he was worried about seems to have passed. Like he had, in his mind, calmed down about it. And they both just see him totally differently. One seems to be like, this guy's, he's more suspicious than he seems. And then the other guy who, likes him more and is closer to him is like, oh, it looks like he figured out what it is. I think that things are going to go really bad with him. So I don't know if that counts as a secret bad guy, but he's somebody I have not trusted from very early in the book. I worry for all of our characters because shit, I feel like I spent like 20 minutes saying like, oh, when a crazy guy has power, it can be so dangerous last episode.
I thought you were just saying that he was like a normal bad guy, not that he was like compromised,
I did not say he was compromised. It
I
sounds
thought-
like
okay,
you've come
so,
up with a totally
yeah.
different theory from what I said that I would love to hear.
I think
Sheta.
he's compromised. There's two forces at work, and the bad guy force would be the one who would want to push the violence, and then the good guy force would want you to come together and stop the violence.
Are you saying that, like, our main character is having visions from what we perceive as a good entity, that he's having visions that are turning him to
Yes.
craziness? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
Also, like, having his own personal thing. We have not seen his POV yet, so
No. Well, I want to be very clear, Sheta, as mind-blown as you were, I want to be clear that was not my theory, that was your
Okay,
theory.
so
So
this
if
is
that
why I
comes
thought you-
true,
okay.
then that is all you. I just said I think he's gone insane, and he's more dangerous than our characters realize.
Okay.
Other than that,
Sheta,
Rock-
did you have?
Rock's definitely evil.
Oh,
I would be so sad, but he would be good. Like
He's
you
just
really,
gonna be.
you
he's gonna
sang
go
and
from
cooked
his,
and
like-
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got me.
I cooked people.
Oh my god, I made you all eat people.
He's gonna go from like his simple talking to a really elegant talk, rip off his skin, and he's a Parshendi
Oh
underneath.
my god, that would be such a twist.
that would be unexpected. Yeah, you wouldn't think a Parshendi could hide very easily among the humans, but if you can wear somebody's skin, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what powers they have. Little is
doing a
known
Letty
about
face.
the Parshendi.
Rock's a
Controversial one, but
Khandra.
he gets in. Yep.
Yeah. No. My person, which now I don't know if I'll pick. I thought it would be the king's mom.
Really?
She is
You
suspicious.
don't trust her.
I don't know. I just thought that I feel like she has her own agenda for some reason. But it might
I
just
do
be
agree
wanting
with
to
that.
sleep with Dalinar.
No, I think she has a bigger agenda than
Like,
that.
that's my only agenda.
Do you really need more of an agenda than that? Come on.
I haven't seen him. I couldn't say.
He's
Not
very
fair.
handsome.
Did they
According
s-
to the
They
description.
kind of say the exact opposite
that
of
shit?
that.
They say he has broken nose, and that's pretty hot. So that's all I'm saying.
It's on.
Yeah, I believe the
Sheta-
exact quote is, "Few women had ever called Dalinar Kholin handsome."
That is the quote.
Right. All right, and then if you two have any other theories you want to throw out there, just go right ahead.
Okay. Do you have any, Justin?
Oh, I've just got a simple one, just based on what Joe said, that the Seven Shards are some kind of like multiverse, universe hopping organization that catalogs this stuff but doesn't interfere like Starfleet, since they've said they have an argument between the two people, and then that they're trying to stop who I've always said I believe is Hoyd from doing whatever the fuck he's doing while he's traveling around. And unless Hoyd's chasing him and trying to stop him, that could be interesting too. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Hoyt seems like
Whoever's
a wild
doing
card.
that. I think there's a faction of like demigod like powered entities behind the scenes who kind of watch over this stuff, and that we're getting to touch upon it through that. That's really my only theory here, besides, if you can call it a theory, that if Dalinar steps down, things are going to go horrifically bad. Maybe he'll even die, and then Adolin will start getting visions. That's just speculation. That's not a theory, though. And of course, my completely original theory that the king is being spoken to by Ruin to corrupt him. The one I came up with all on my own here.
So Sazed?
Say it
The
again.
king?
Dude, Sazed became a jerk. Wow.
Because remember, Ruin's power is held by Sazed.
No. After Ruin was killed, he fell into this world. That's what I'm trying to say. And now he talks to the king. That's apparently what my theory has devolved down into.
But is the king
You
pierced
mean
by metal?
evolved.
That is a good question.
Although, when you think about it, a lot of these guys have a much more intimate relationship with a magical piece of metal than just being stabbed by it. Like, they can summon these swords out of nothingness wherever they are.
So they've already got what they need to manipulate them. It's all set up. It makes perfect sense.
Wow. I didn't think that about the prologues being like time. What is it called in Loki?
Time travel? I don't think that's what
No.
you're saying. No.
No, the time like company that is running everything.
Oh, the TVA.
Yeah, the TVA.
Time Variance Authority, I think it is.
That is what it
Yep,
stands for.
yep. Mhm.
I got a hat with Mrs. Minutes on it, or Ms. Minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
just going to say, next chapter starts with a Miss Minutes PSA that just spoils the whole book.
Yeah.
Hey, if it means we get Immortus by the end of this comic, I'm fine. Or at the end of this book.
Yeah, but then he'll be cut out and replaced with Dr. Doom, Joe, so you won't get what you want.
No, we're on the sacred timeline here. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So what do you got, Sheta? You
Okay.
said it's good.
Well,
it's
I have
so
a couple
built up.
ones.
Somebody was going to
Sheta-
stop watching, but heard you say it was good and kept watching just because of that, Sheta. So you got to really
Okay.
impress.
I got you. Hold on.
And there, at least one of them had to do with Adolin dating a bunch of people.
Yes. Okay. So I'll start with my first one, and I think that Dalinar is going to give up his shard stuff to his second son, since he wanted to give him some. But if he really is retiring, then I think he would. Can you do that? Just give it to him? Oh yeah, they inherit it. Like some people give it like a family heirloom. So I think that would be pretty cool. And then also same, if Dalinar gets killed, he would also pass it on. And then that son will become a bigger character, which I've been kind of waiting for.
It's
So
not
that's
going to
one.
happen. I don't believe it.
I like him.
Yeah.
But you know what? He might be the secret bad guy, actually.
He's
he
the
does
bad guy?
If he does get the plate, he might, yeah. And when he feels the thrill for the first time, and then it controls him too much. I could see that.
Sheta, I'm sorry. You just reminded me of my actual theory, which was that the shard plate makes you more violent. That was what it was. Because
Ooh,
the
yeah.
second Dalinar put on the shard blade, he started to feel it again.
Yes.
When the people came and were like, hey, we should do this bridge thing. And he's always been like, no. That's when he started to be like, oh, maybe, that's when he started to consider it.
Yeah.
And
I could
that
see
whatever force is in him is what took him out of it and showed him what the battlefield really looks like, to counteract it. And that's why a lot of these lords who wear it all the time, they're a lot more, they think a lot
Evil?
differently. They're a lot more violent type, I have very little evidence of that except for his perspective as he puts it on. And that comes apart when you remember that he hasn't gone into battle for a while,
Yeah. No, I like that one. That's
Yeah, I think there's a lot of holes in it, but it's still one of my theories.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like a very direct power corrupts. Guard plate is power, so.
Well, they don't know where it came from, but what if it came from just a place to control
From
people?
evil.
Maybe that's why the poor and the workers didn't wear it, because it's meant to corrupt the powerful instead. We'll see, though. Again, I have virtually no evidence for that except that it'd be cool. So
That kind of makes me think of Wheel of Time, where the male half of the power, it literally drives the men insane because it's been tainted by the Dark One.
Mm.
Yep. And who finished writing Wheel of Time? Brandon.
Oh my God.
Full circle.
You're right.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, you jumped on that one too, but yeah, the second son, which I forgot his name, even though I like him,
Renarin.
Renarin. I thought you said Bernardin. I was like,
Bernardo, the classic Stormlight character.
yeah, Bernardo. He's my favorite. But yeah, I'm gonna put his vote in as being the second or secret bad guy. Maybe. Okay, and then I wonder if the Parshendis have the thrill as well, like, or
I
is
don't
that
think so
just
because they sing when they kill. That doesn't
yeah? I
sound
wonder
like the same thing.
unless it's a more potent version of the thrill where they're thrilling together, you know.
It's the Thriller music video. That's what all the singing is about.
I really set that up. They all just come in doing the dance. Stupid. Okay. So we also learned that part of the religion of the Alethi is to train to fight in honorable battle so that you can join the Herald's army and win back the Tranquilin halls. And so, like, what if Dalinar was not sent back in time like we thought, but he was sent to heaven or hell?
Wait, hold on. Wait, what do you mean, like we thought? Where's this we coming from? This time travel back in time.
You guys agreed with me.
Yeah, that's how I remember that last episode. You all agreed on the time travel thing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
we all
sure.
agreed. Yeah, so
And it was never Dalinar went back in time. Your theory was Kaladin went forward in time.
Same thing.
no, in his vision then.
Okay.
Yeah,
his
I
vision-
understood that. So I was like, I was confused for
Okay.
a second by your reaction.
Oh, I thought you're okay. Never mind. All right, I take that
I
back.
was trying to work it out.
Yeah, so he was sent up to or down to hell to fight with the other the
Why
Herald
does hell
army.
have names from ancient times?
Because
that would
this
be
is
my
their
question to
version.
them.
Their version of hell or heaven, you know.
I mean, those people from ancient times got to be somewhere.
And they still live in the places they lived in life.
Well,
Maybe.
This is their religion. They have an army and stuff, you know. And this is why they fight. And I think maybe he is getting old and that's what's happening, you know.
He's just getting visions that you get towards the end of your life.
Yeah. So that's one. That the Tranquiline Halls is happening right now. Or
Is that a theory or an idea, Sheta? Because they're very different, and I react very differently depending on what you say.
What's the difference?
What is the difference? Okay, that explains a lot. Okay.
Well, yeah, they're just things I'm throwing around because of what we learned. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
I
that
see
was part
no
of the
evidence
religion.
of that, even though I would think that was awesome.
Yeah, well, it's part of them to go fight, and so I was like, what if that fight at the beginning was happening too? You know, where they are fighting up there, and those guys ditch their post in real time, and that's why everything kind of sucks.
Well, we
down
know
here.
at the beginning, I believe they basically say that when they die, they go to hell, right? Which would imply they're in our world. And they have statues that have very similar names in this world we saw in an earlier one. So I don't think so, Shita.
Yeah, but maybe those guys were down on Earth before.
You know, if you can, I cannot argue with yeah, but maybe. I just cannot do such
Sorry.
a thing. It's
Okay,
not possible.
Yeah. So we already kind of talked about like their god wanting to be more peaceful and then the devil being more like connected to the thrill and violence. So that's part of another idea. And I have a little note that says, LOL, the free hand thing must be really nice because you only have to pay for half of a manicure.
Why did you go from we already know that we talked about the idea that there's a heaven and a hell and a god and a devil, and on a related note, you only gotta pay for half a manicure.
She didn't say related.
Yeah, I'm just going down
thought
my
it was
notes.
going to be related. I was so following your train of thought. So that's the grift they're pulling, huh? With this hand thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like heaven, right? You just have to pay for half of the manicure. Yeah.
Yes, manicure prices are the largest problem on the earthly realm. So
Okay. All right. Now to my Adolin theory. Adolin is gay.
Adolin is gay. That's the theory?
He can't keep a girlfriend because he dumps them as soon as they want to have sex. And he's actually in love with Sadius, who is always very fashionable.
Why Sadius?
True.
Because Sadius is not married and is known to
Yes,
buy
he is.
whores.
That
He's
is
not-
scary.
Well, your theory just died.
Okay, well then
Sheta.
she's a beard. Everyone knows. Okay, he's known to have to buy a lot of horror companions and stuff, but maybe it's only one Adolin. And then are they having a secret affair? And is that why Adolin doesn't trust him so publicly and stuff? So that no one will suspect their relationship. And then when they were going to fight in the battle, there was a specific line that said that Sadius didn't even look at Adolin before the battle.
I mean, I know that when I'm having a secret affair with someone, I often try to convince my dad to kill that person just to throw everyone off the scent. So I think this hangs together.
If you know your dad
if you
wouldn't,
just said Adolin was like a closeted homosexual and left it at that, I would say, well, I mean, I don't know the character that well. He hasn't, when he thinks of the girls he's with, he certainly doesn't think, man, she's very attractive. He's so focused on other things. You bring in that Sadius stuff, and I am just lost. I don't know where any of that came from.
Sadius also seemed to know a lot of stuff, private things about Dalinar that he only told his son. So maybe
So
that's
not only is he sleeping with him, he's betraying his father at the same time.
it's just some possible pillow talk that he might have let slip.
I'm sorry.
I thought there was a lot of evidence in there.
There was a lot of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Except
so
for-
I had to go look because we do get something in this chapter about Adolin's type. The Dalinar, he's like, Danlin, she has a breathy, husky voice, just the type that attracted Adolin. So
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
Does that
See?
make it sound?
Now I just need some evidence that Sadius has a husky voice.
Okay, can you cut Sadius out of your theory, Sheta?
No, don't listen. This theory is nothing without Sadius in it. I
That's
love it.
the part that doesn't make any goddamn sense at
Okay,
all.
I'm taking that Adolin, since we met him, he's kind of been a one-note character to me where I don't trust Sadius and stuff. That's all he's been, like, every time we see him, he has to mention him, you know? So I'm like, he's kind of obsessed with him.
Here's my guess, Sheta. You came up with this theory about Adius a bit ago, and then you started becoming suspicious based on your own theory. Is that correct? Of Sadius?
No, because I'm picking up all these vibes from them. There was a lot of tension.
Okay. All right. Remember, folks, this is the theory Sheta told you to wait until the end to have revealed.
100%
that you
worth
would-
it, okay?
You would not regret it.
I think I remember saying, "Oh, it's a good one." Now it
Yep.
doesn't seem as good because you were saying you're making fun of it.
I've not made fun of it. I have not done that.
The Sadius stuff.
The vibes-based theories are always the best, Sheta. Just keep it up.
I get the vibes. It's like the thrill, but for a gaydar. It's that simple. Sheta apparently does not get the thrill based on this.
I was so sure that it might be true.
Now, I would be interested on Brandon Sanderson's, like, if he's, because we haven't had a homosexual character at this point, I believe. I know he's quite religious. Has he ever spoken on that kind of thing publicly? Does he care about that, or is that does he keep that stuff away from, like,
The only-
like, he doesn't talk about
the-
stuff like a lot of writers don't?
I won't say anything concrete,
good.
but I'll say that as the stories go, he does get more like open with the characters and stuff like that.
Well, I meant his own, if he's ever commented on his own personal feelings. I don't actually know a lot about Mormonism stuff, so I don't know what their views are on that.
With Brandon Sanderson, same thing. His mind has changed over time. Because I know there was
Okay.
one point where I think it was something he wrote in high school or college, which was, kind of a, anti-homosexual or something like that. And since he had written that, he got to experience more of the world and everything, and his sort of opinion changed. So he has talked more about that, how his thoughts and stuff that has changed since he originally wrote that.
So was that before or after he wrote this book?
Stop looking for evidence. That's not why I asked. I was just curious.
The mainline Mormon Church is not generally a big fan, and early in his career, you can find quotes where he is more in line with the church on it, and then he's been very open about it since then. Where later he's like, "Look, after going out and meeting people, talking to people, and like getting more information from people who this is their life, I've realized that like that's that person that said those things. That's not who I want to be. Like he wants to be more welcoming or open to that kind of thing, and it does start to reflect in some of his writing where you see the characters becoming more diverse in various ways, not just that, but in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Be curious to see that. Not that that's a vibe I get from his work at all. Like, it's just, some writers aren't going to bring that kind of stuff up at all because they don't care about it or they're not into it. So I was curious if he had thoughts on that, and that is an interesting answer.
So, Sheta, I had to go back and look to see about Sadeas's description from Adolin's perspective. In the very first Adolin perspective, what we get is even Sadeas looked impressive when wearing his red plate, though his bulbous face and ruddy complexion weakened the effect.
There you go, Sheta. Come on. You can't argue with that.
Sometimes you're mean to the guy you like.
No. It's over. It's over. That killed it, Sheta. That killed it.
But if
you
just
can't
got a
fix
haircut,
a bulbous face. He did not say he had a bad haircut. What was it? Ruddy complexion and bulbous face?
Yeah.
That's about as ugly as you could possibly... I always thought Sadeas was good looking. I'm almost sad to hear that.
Well, this is just an opinion. Maybe he's kind of mad that like he showed up with a girl or something like that. And he's like, oh, he looks so ugly.
And in his most private thoughts, he even keeps it a secret.
Yeah, some people do that when they're in denial.
Yep.
I'm looking for some support for you. I was hoping it would talk about his breathy voice or something, but I'm not finding it.
You're not going to.
Okay, but he still might be gay. So that's all.
See, that's what you should go with. Get rid of the Sadeas part, and you've got half a theory there, Sheta.
Okay, and then I predict that this next part will be the girls' chapters. That the male and female arts are such a thing in here, like they're so different that I could see the chapters and the parts being split like that. Which in these chapters,
did we not have a female protagonist here? We didn't, did we?
Go on. Oh, in this part?
No, in this part, yeah.
Yeah, this part, no. The POVs was just Adolin, Kaladin, Dalinar.
Interesting.
So, war, backbreaking labor, and picking through dead bodies. That's the guy chapter. And then the girl one, we might get some art, studying, and research, and maybe some romance. So I'm excited, and I think that it will be more. We'll finally see Shallan, and hopefully the King's sister.
Oh, wow. They got you to wanting to finally see Shallan, Sheta.
I said I was going to give her a chance, and then I never got that chance. So, plus, especially if she's going to be here and then be flirting with that cute priest guy, I want to see that.
Yeah, you didn't do as much shipping as I expected here. Are you saying there wasn't as much romance as you were hoping until this nightmare shit
guys
at the
apart
end you've had?
And picking through dead bodies, not that much time.
Contemplating jumping off a cliff.
Yeah, kind of heavy for what
I mean, Adolin is nothing but romance. He's just not good at it.
That is not romance. That is whiffing.
You got some Dalinar. Dalinar didn't have romance on his end. It was more directed at him, but still.
We did get a little bit with him. But again, I feel like it's such a... You can cut this, Joe, if you want. But it's such a guy thing to be so oblivious to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cut that. Guys are going to be so offended by that statement we'll get canceled, Sheta.
to be like, hey, you totally ditched me on our date and then he's just like, okay, but oh man, I'm so excited to get this secret message from your daughter though, that we're gonna go and decipher it together. And
I don't think Dalinar's oblivious. He seems to be pretty clear as to what Navani wants. He's just trying to say no.
I don't know if it's clear to him.
When he tells her, this won't work, I won't dishonor my brother.
Maybe. But how long can he keep that up? I bet if she came over in a hot dress, he would change his mind.
He is also constantly thinking about how attractive she is, so it might be hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time. Keep at it, girl.
You know, this makes me wonder what he would have been like with this if he was rekindling stuff with her before, when he was more of an oaf.
He would have
He
gone
probably
for
would have
it.
been quite a bit. Well, I don't know about that because he still had the memory thing, but again, I'm so curious to know what he used to be like. I would love to see a flashback with him.
Yeah, so far we just keep getting these boring Kaladin flashbacks.
Yeah, boring ass Kaladin. Worst character in the book. Not the one I'm most eager every time his chapter starts up to read. Not at all.
Like, dude, just smile a little more. Jeez.
Yeah. It's just
Lighten up.
suicidal slavery. What are you whining about, bro? Like, calm down.
All right, Sheta, do you have any other theories?
The most dangerous words ever uttered.
No, that's everything I wrote down. Oh, let me check my other book.
Do you have more than one book of theories?
I write them on my phone, and then I also have a notebook. But...
You know when there's like a
shipping theories and one book for the other ones.
You know when there's like a psychotic killer who does something crazy and they go back and they find all those notebooks filled with crazed ramblings? That's what Sheta's place looks like.
It's just drawings of Syl and Kaladin and Vin and Zane, and
it's like when you find I forgot his name.
Hey, it's better than... Hey, at least those ships are better than my favorite ship of Kaladin Vin.
You sick bastard. She's a married woman.
Also, he's just way too tall for her.
Too tall.
That makes it funny.
How tall is Kaladin? Is that a thing I've not been noticing?
Well, all Alethi
are tall, and Kaladin's tall for an Alethi.
Yeah, Kaladin's taller than, I think, everyone in the story but Rock so far.
Interesting.
And also, it's funny because Scadrian measurements are basically Earth measurements. So Vin is short by our standards. Rosharan measurements are actually longer than Earth measurements. Like a Rosharan inch is like 1.4 or 1.25 inches. And then, but they have 10 inches to a foot. So their foot is still longer than our foot, but it's only a little bit longer than our foot. It's all thing.
Man, that's really awesome. But once you start getting into there's different types of measurements, that's where world building I cannot follow any longer.
Their years are also different. So when they
years
say like,
I can follow, yeah.
When they say Shallan is 17 or whatever, that's not in Earth years.
So what's that? Oh, I think we did this question before, didn't we?
Yeah, I think like one of their years is like 1.2 Earth years, so it's slightly longer. But also in my mind, I figure even if their years are longer, their body probably still ages in comparison to their planet. So even though Shallan might be alive longer by Earth days, her body physically would probably still be the same age. At least that's how I think of it. Otherwise, it just gets too confusing.
Well, yeah, it gets more confusing the more you go into it because their calendar is so much different. Their year's 500 days long, but each day is 20. Yeah, each day is 20 hours.
Oh man!
And each week is 10 days. It could actually be relevant because you see them talking about like a week, but it's not the same number of days as our week. I think each week is 10 days and each month is 5 weeks or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
I would love.
I think
that.
a lot.
That sounds awesome.
A lot of this,
a 10-day week.
So much of this is what Brandon came up with in order to explain lighter gravity on the planet. Because everything's supposed to be lighter gravity. That way, chasm fiends could exist. Because if it was Earth gravity, then they would be too heavy to carry.
Why didn't he just take the easy way and say it was magic, like most writers would do?
Because he likes hard magic.
A wizard did it.
All right. So I'm just gonna assume we're done with theories now.
Yeah.
Let's.
For now.
Yeah,
Alright.
I don't have anything crazy.
All right. So let's go to our characters of the week.
My character of the week was Data. He was such a good guest.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
get out.
That's fun. Now, character from the book. I'm not putting Data in my list of characters.
You should. That would be fun.
um,
And then I'll pick Data next week so that he'll win.
Woo! Start a write-in campaign.
I'm gonna pick Dalinar for his moment of looking out upon the battlefield. I found that so interesting, and it was his perspective that gave that to me. However, I'm reluctant to pick him because he's giving up his role, which I think is a bad idea, but I'll still give it to him.
I will pick Kaladin for successfully having a campfire or bonfire night with his crew and for getting a good deal on the weed that he was trying to sell.
On the weed.
That really makes it sound like a different kind of story. The weed that he was trying to sell.
Yeah, what book are we reading?
No wonder it was such a
Bonfire
good
and
campfire night.
Yeah.
Geez, what did you put in that soup? Weed.
You
Oh,
know.
okay.
That's one way to win him over.
Yeah.
All right. Data, your character?
Oh, I get to do a character. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna do Rock / Numuhuku Makiaki Lunamore. He's hilarious and helpful in these chapters.
I almost picked him too. For cooking a mean stew
Yeah. I want to.
and getting people to sing.
Getting, by what you mean ordering people sing.
Sing!
Okay.
It's like, wait, you can give us some moderate amount of entertainment? You must do it right now.
All right. Then for me, I'm going to do Dalinar like Justin. I really like the whole decision chapter, all the introspection that he's making and everything, thinking these are points where I should abdicate, these are where I shouldn't. Like all that I've just found very interesting. And even though at the end he decides to abdicate, it comes like kind of a downer point of the story. I just found it all very good to read. All right. So now let's move over to quotes.
Mine comes after Sadeas is asking Dalinar if he feels the thrill, if he feels this or that. And he answers, I feel each of the things you mentioned, Sadeas. Dalinar said, eyes forward. But I don't always let them out. A man's emotions are what define him. And control is the hallmark of true strength. To lack feeling is to be dead. But to act on every feeling is to be a child. Which I thought sounded very deeply philosophical for Dalinar, so I like when it's followed by, that has the stink of a quote about it, Dalinar, from that little book. Yes. So I like the quote because it's a good one, for obvious reasons. But I also like that it's something that he said that is clearly completely outside of the life he's lived until this point. So it's a new idea he came across that he's trying very hard to live by, and it's very fascinating to see.
Yeah, that's pretty cute to try to do. It's like, you didn't come up with that. I had something to say about that too. I lost it. Sorry. Oh, okay, I got it. The part where, okay, to lack feeling is to be dead. I think that's interesting because that's what's happening over at the camp at Kaladin's, where they all just want to be numb and not want to think about anything, So I wonder, that's just another theme is he's trying to re-alive them and stuff and give them something to live for and not be dead inside.
Is the other side of that like calling out the rest of the Alethi, where he's like, to just give into every one of your feelings is to be a child, like all of you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, basically.
For sure. He went to that party and he shook his head basically, like when everyone was all like dressed up instead of properly being attired, and because they are the army, and partying way too much. Okay, I'll do my quote. Okay, so this is after Kaladin makes the deal with the apothecary guy, and Syl's like, aren't you worried? If Gaz discovers what you're doing, you'll get into trouble. What more could they do to me? Kaladin asked. I doubt they'd consider this a crime worth stringing me up for. Syl looked backward, forming a little more than a cloud with the faint suggestion of a female form. I can't decide if it's dishonest or not. It's not dishonest, it's business, he grimaced. Lavish grain is sold the same way, grown by the farmers and sold at a pittance to the merchants, who carry it to the cities and sell it to other merchants, who sell it to people for 4 or 5 times what it was originally bought for. So, I thought it was interesting that Syl was having a hard time figuring out if it was right or wrong to do that because she's trying to do that, and I think it's really funny and sad to say that business is like that. No one likes it. It feels unfair, and but we let it happen still, like it's in that gray area, and think it's funny that Syl has a hard time.
Well, it's so interesting that we do let it happen, because if you didn't, then a lot of merchants wouldn't bother to bring the grain where it needs to go because they would only make a reasonable profit instead of a good profit,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really funny thing to have him just say that's how it is. It's just how it happens.
Business.
Mm-hmm.
But some people say, yeah, it's just business.
They say that when they kill you or betray you.
Well, this is kind of like that. Like, it's just no hard feelings. That's just business, So you get a pass. You get everyone kind of understands that, even though it shouldn't be, right? It wouldn't be fair. And it's not fair.
At least Kaladin gets to use it to his advantage in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's using it too, yeah.
Great. Data, did you have a quote?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my favorite quote from this section: have you ever been in a slot canyon when the rain comes, Rock? No. On the peaks we have not these things. They only exist where foolish men choose to live. You live here, Rock, Kaladin noted. And I am foolish. Did you not notice this thing? I love it.
Yeah.
And I love the way Rock speaks, just like this thing.
Yeah. It's really fun. I like that. I don't know when they mention it, but Kaladin starts saying how Rock is kind of returning to who he probably was before all of this happened, kind of like a lighthearted, fun guy, not too heavy.
Yeah, that's actually that same paragraph. I just stopped right before it got to that part where we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that too. But it's good. He's the first to join him, and he's the first to kind of like live again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because he's kind of got this more jovial nature that he's the first one to kind of come out of the funk a little bit after Kaladin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It was probably the most unnatural for him, and he kind of knew he might send it, or he knew he's the reason he got sent there, because of what he did. So I think that it's not really in his nature to be all like how he's been, all depressed and stuff. So I agree, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
All right, and then my quote is just, section, Dalinar's, making the latrine, all right. But even in this, he was acting according to the ideals that had infected him. The book spoke of a king carrying the burdens of his people. Said that those who led were the lowest of men, for they were required to serve everyone. It all swirled around in him. The codes, the teaching of the book, the things, the visions, or delusions showed. Never fight other men except when forced into war. Bang. Let your actions defend you, not your words. Bang. Expect honor from those you meet and give them the chance to live up. Bang. Rule as you would be ruled. Bang. I just like the way Brandon wrote it, where you're getting like one line of the codes and then you have like the smashing of the hammer as he's working. That's the main reason. I just thought it was pretty well done and a pretty cool part of the section.
Well, it really highlights how crazy it is from our perspective that ideas like lead like you would want to be led are just really out there for these folks.
Mm-hmm. I really like that because I get, it's kind of boring when like a fantasy book assumes that characters have the kinds of thoughts you have in your time with your technology and culture, So I really like having them do a different one. It's still somewhat, it knows that the readers have our philosophies, but it's really fun that the people in there who think like that are fucking weirdos. Like nobody's like, damn, you're a genius. They're like, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes it feel more like a lived-in world. It's not just it's not just Earth, but with this one different technology. It
Yeah.
feels like they grew up with their own things, even if some people are starting to change more to Earth-like.
Yeah, I feel like this book's doing that more than previous books have, and I find that very interesting as well. Like, the fact that I dislike this culture so much is good, because I'm from a modern culture who would not like a culture like this, because I'd probably be forced to die in the army.
Yeah, hard pass.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's look forward to next week. So next week we'll be reading, because we're going to get interludes again, so we'll be reading all the interludes and then up through chapter 31. So, and as I said, we'll do the quick little preview of the names. So for the interludes, just like last time, 3 names. This time we have Risen, Axes, and Zeth.
I would not put it past if you just made that fucking up right now. That just seems like some shit off the top of your head until I see them as characters.
Well, one of those you've seen the name before multiple times.
Which one's that?
Zeth.
Zeth? Who's Zeth?
The assassin.
Remind me. Oh, the assassin. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
like him.
last time we saw him was when when that one guy had killed his master and got the Oath Stone.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see that one continue. I was so sad we had
Yeah.
to stop following that.
Same. He might be my favorite other character of these.
All right. And then for part 3, we have Kaladin,
Yay.
Shallan.
Yay.
And that's it.
And? No.
Yeah, that's it. No Dalinar, no
Yeah, so-
Adolin. What are they going to get up to in part 3?
Wait, are you
I
saying
like
that-
Dalinar and Adolin, but I have had enough about hearing about the goddamn war camp. I am okay to give that one a break for a while.
I mean, Kaladin's also in the war camps.
That's
but-
the part I'm super interested in, though. I'm not that interested in what the nobles are doing with their little who can get the crab first game. I enjoyed it while we had it. I've heard enough, and I will be eager to hear it when it becomes plot relevant again.
Yeah, and like we didn't really get to see that much of the exciting parts. Like it's mostly their downtime, like partying and brooding and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't find the crab hunts that exciting because they're a little too, like, I know it was pretty brutal, but they're just a little too easy, you know?
That's exactly
Same
what
with
Dalinar
killing all the parshmen. Yeah.
That's exactly what Dalinar thinks. Are you infected?
Am I infected? Oh, shit.
Are you afflicted with his thing?
Yep.
You got a
I've
cricket
got
on
them.
you, too.
Yep.
Epic
Yep.
cricket.
All right. So Data, if you want to throw any plugs or anything out there, feel free to do it at this time.
Okay, yeah. If you guys like this, come and find wherever you're listening to this podcast, you should also be able to find the Sanderlanche Podcast. Unless you're Joe editing this on your own computer, then maybe not. But we have gone through all of the same stuff as these folks and a few other things as well, which I won't say because it would spoil things. But if you're interested in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series of books, we recently launched a second podcast in the Sanderlanche Podcast Network called Don't Gaslight Me, Jesus, where we're doing the same thing with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series of books. So if you're interested in those, check that one out as well.
I assume that's a quote from the book.
It is a quote from one of the books, yes.
That
Not
is
just-
a funny one.
Not just me calling out Jesus.
All right, and I think we did our plugs last week, and we've gotten to the point where I don't want to do them every week, so people know where to find us at this point. We're 80-some episodes in.
It's good.
So yeah, I think that will do it for this week. You know, thank you, Data, for coming on. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. This was
Yay.
great.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for suffering through some of those things.
You're welcome, is what I'm going to say.
Hey, I didn't say what it was that was suffered through.
So, yep. So everyone, like I said, next week, starting with Interlude 4 and going all the way through Chapter 31. So be sure to read those, and also while you're waiting, maybe make some spaghetti, eat some of that. Try to set a world record for the largest spaghetti bowl made.
Yes, please do that. That's what we're encouraging.
And then
All right.
call me
Bye,
if
everyone.
you need help eating it. Bye-bye.
Ate.
Spaghetti.